Limitless Mail wants you to know low T is real. Low energy, brain fog, belly fat, low libido. Your T levels matter. They affect how you function. If you have symptoms, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Mail. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Mail.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole Ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in. It is Old School here on The Ticket. As always, Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays here on Ticket 93.7 Ticket and ticketfm.com. I'm Austin. He is Husker Hall of Famer, 8-year NFL vet Jay Foreman, back in the saddle again. Jay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my octoroon.
What'd it do?
The same old soup, just reheated. It is hump day.
It is indeed.
Yeah, I'm tired too. I ain't gonna lie. But I battle, though.
You do.
Yeah.
You push through.
Yeah.
We will have plenty of engaging topics to wake you up, I promise. Including
I'm up.
Including your boy Lane.
Yeah, what about him?
Oh, there's more. We'll get into that in a second. He's about that life. Lane is not making up his mind. I think he likes the attention. Just a theory.
Just now figuring that out?
No, I'm not just now figuring that out. College football playoff rankings, Dayton Raiola decommits some NBA stars missing time. Is it time for the NBA to decrease the 82-game schedule? Evan Blanda of the Omaha World Herald. And, of course, everyone's favorite Whiteboard Wednesday coming up at 5 here on today's show. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of things. Jay, let's dive into this first, though. Sam Leavitt, or should I say Sam Leavitt, started his career at Michigan State, talked to Nebraska, ends up at Arizona State, leads the Sun Devils to the college football playoff, suffers a foot injury, has foot surgery late October, early November. And now his brother, an agent with CAA Sports, is reportedly shopping him to other high major schools.
Yeah.
Already. Transfer portal doesn't open until January the 2nd. Those conversations are being had. On3 is reporting it is doubtful that Sam Levitt returns to Arizona State. More likely to return to Arizona State, is it Sam Levitt or is it Kenny Dillingham?
Neither.
Neither.
They're both going to be gone.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Where's Kenny Dillingham going?
You're going to start getting some of that gumbo.
Oh.
He's a perfect
Interesting.
fit down there.
Interesting.
And so is Sam Levitt. Because the Nussmeyers
Package deal?
Yeah, as long as that Quan's right.
Well, it's LSU. It better be right.
Yeah.
Really? You see Kenny Dillingham to LSU?
I think he's going to level up. I think he's going to level up. I think anywhere he goes besides ASU is a level up. And this is my thought process on it.
Are you just salty over 96 still?
Yeah, no. But thanks for reminding
yes,
me.
But no.
Not even at all. It doesn't even. I actually laugh at people when I run like that, or like my mom used to live in Arizona. And my brother sometimes, bust me up. I just laugh at you about it because you're still talking about it, and you dookie down your leg against Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, so it was all for nothing. Down the Super Bowl when I had Jake with me, we met Jake Plummer.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say anything
because he knew better.
He knew better. But the year before, we hung 77 on you. We wanted to do 77-7, so we could have go to the Warhorse Casino before it was even built. No, I'm just kidding. I think my thought is Arizona State is a good job. I don't know if they have the money to really put together a roster on a consistent basis, and I think Dillingham is on his way up. I think to keep a quarterback, a legit one, like Levitt, you're thinking $4 to $6 million.
Woo!
I'm just guessing. I mean, Carson Beck got 4. This dude's better.
I was gonna say,
okay,
yeah.
So, $4 to $6 million. Also find it very hard for Arizona State, with the size of their campus. They have a pretty decent alumni, but look, you're in a pro sports town. It's hard for universities to survive in pro sports towns. Mm-hmm. College football usually does better in small communities
where it's the
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, Ohio State's an outlier, but I think Ohio State was there before the Columbus, Blue Jackets or whatever it came.
Well, in hopes that the Bengals haven't been good. The Indians/Guardians weren't that good. The Browns
we don't need to talk about the Browns. So, so that's it.
Cavs.
Right. Now
Blue Jackets.
Yeah. And that was just during LeBron, but Ohio State that's their pro team. So I think that's why I would see him going to even somewhere, like Arkansas or somewhere like that, you got that money. He's a heck of a little coach.
He is. Yeah. I agree. See, I think it's more likely he stays this year.
Well, sure. Yeah. I think when a year or two, but you can't let that light, when your light's shining the brightest, you can't wait.
Is Arizona State, though, a job that maybe has a higher ceiling than you would think? Or are you saying because it's a pro sports state that there really is no ceiling? He's bumping his head against it, just making the playoff, and
he's hit
that.
The ceiling. And that was last year. Caught everybody by surprise. You really would have been able to make some noise if your other receiver was healthy.
Right.
That was it. And then you hit, home run. I'll say you swung with your eyes closed and you hit a grand slam with Sam Levitt. I mean, because you can't really account for a guy of his stature to go to Michigan State, the coach get fired for, off the field issues. And a byproduct of that is Nebraska flips the number 1 quarterback. So you divert your trip to Lincoln down to Arizona State where they need a viable quarterback. And you knock it out of the park and you've never played.
Mm-hmm.
He played what? Well, he played against us.
Yeah.
And he did well, but
But he was splitting time.
Right. It wasn't like you were a starter for 2 years. So, I think Arizona State's a good place. I just think Dillingham is on the way up. I think you lose Sam Levitt. I think you lose a lot in your program, and I think he's
Mhm.
he's going to get in cash. He's going to cash in, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think whether Dillingham stays or not, I think is totally up to him. I know he probably has some options though.
We will talk about that next year because it ties into the Lane Kiffin discussion. We'll start with this, though, Jay. LSU, obviously open, as is Florida. Florida now interviewing John Sumrall, the Tulane head coach. They're setting up a conversation. Okay, that's a pretty hot name down there in SEC country. Obviously, at Tulane, SEC ties back to his time at Kentucky. And then you get to the Lane Kiffin of it all. May or may not have received an ultimatum from Ole Miss. Went on McAfee and summarily denied it being an ultimatum. But either way, there's multiple sources, multiple outlets reporting that Ole Miss is kind of fed up with the constant will he, won't he? Does he really love us? You said the Rose example, right? Does he love me? Does he not love me? Whatever.
Yeah.
Sounds like not just the athletic side, but also the university side is pretty fed up with that. And Ole Miss, according to some people, has given Lane through the Egg Bowl. Either you're here or you're not. Make up your mind. With Florida interviewing Sumrall, maybe that's some pressure on Lane. If Florida's his dream job, you'd assume he's their first candidate. If there is interest between Dillingham and LSU, okay, there's some more pressure ratcheting up a little bit on Lane. But there's one element here from the CBS Sports reporting. One booster who thinks they know Kiffin pretty well wonders if Lane feels like he's hit his ceiling in Oxford. I find that hard to believe because if you can get into the top 4 in the college football playoff, which Ole Miss is certainly on the doorstep of doing, then you have a chance to win a national title. Being in the SEC, building it to where Lane Kiffin has done it, I still think the ceiling is a national title. I find it hard to believe Lane Kiffin has accomplished everything he can, which if that's what that booster thinks Lane Kiffin feels, I would tell him he's a little bit misguided, especially if he's happy his family's there and you've built a place like this.
Yeah.
But for Lane, how much of the allure is wanting to be in a more traditional blue blood again?
He has an affinity for Steve Spurrier.
He does.
Always has.
Mm-hmm.
I remember after we beat the dog tar out of them, seeing him after the season, he was just like, "How could you guys do it?" I was like, "It was actually pretty easy." Not to hurt your feelings. So this is probably the second or third time they've had this go around with Lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're probably tired of it.
Well, why wouldn't they be?
But but they also need to know they've benefited off of Lane as much or more with his success than he's benefited off of them. So you need to pump your brakes a little bit.
Paychecks are nice, but
you got to do a little bit too much dip on your chip.
I think they both do.
I mean, Lane's got to make a big decision. I think it's a family decision. I think it's, like I'm reading here, man. It's like, I mean, I can read exactly off of my phone. His family locked in down there. He's got his ex-wife down there. They got a great relationship. His son's starting on varsity. I mean, this is not just go to Florida and just kind of roll around like you got like little kids. I mean, it's
big boy football.
Big boy football. I don't think I think he gets to see his family as much as he can, and everybody's kind of making a home in there. But you also have to look at if there's a time, a little bit of, I think he'd like to leave. But also I think, I'm just going to tell you what, no, I have a feeling he'd like to leave. Okay. But he'd like to coach his team through the college football playoffs.
Which Ole Miss would say, if you're taking another job,
Yeah.
You're not doing that. Do you know who Ole Miss's top 2 options for the interim would be?
No.
Joe Judge.
Yeah.
And Pete Golding.
I like, as long as Pete Golding keeps his mind right, he's good. Pete Golding,
right?
Sorority house, boy. I mean, I think either way, if Lane decides to go, my advice is you just need to go now.
Mm-hmm. Stop playing with people.
No, it's not even about playing. It's just that it's just easier that way because they're there potentially in the college football playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Then allow who's going to have to take over until that's done to do their job and you do your job. I mean, Scott coached the rest of the season. came here. It's a different situation. Florida's desperate. They need to get started. College football has changed immensely since then, as far as NIL and all that.
Well, NIL, but also the calendar, right? I mean, early
Yeah.
signing day is in 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
That's 4 days after the Egg Bowl will be
Yeah.
decided is signing day. The difference, too, with Scott Frost before he came to Nebraska was that was one bowl game.
Yeah.
Not a potential run. It
Yeah.
was one and done. You had an end date in mind. You could build up to it, do what you want.
And there was no
then you
rush.
move on.
Now there's a rush both places.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is in unfamiliar territory. Got close last year. This is it. And, it's part of, leveling up. I always say, when you get to those jobs, Power 4 jobs, Big 10, SEC, some ACC jobs, some Big 12 jobs, the only way you go to other jobs, if it's one that you just, all right, this is one you never would, this is like, okay, I wish I could possibly coach here and I'm leaving. And sure, people would be mad either way. People are going to be mad if you stay. People are going to be mad if you go.
Yeah.
But if you want to go and you have your family's blessing, then you got to go. And you got to go now.
Mm-hmm.
So because you need to get started, you need to let the plan go in place, or whenever they need you to go, you need to do your thing.
The CBS Sports article has a couple interesting paragraphs. Just reading from it here. In some ways, Kiffin's near decision to take the Auburn job helped spur Ole Miss into this moment. It prompted an NIL fundraising drive to compete with Auburn's perceived bigger war chest. Ole Miss fans rallied to do and give everything they had to keep Kiffin in Oxford to show him that he could have the resources necessary to win big. It was still fraught at times, especially when an 8-1 season imploded into an 8-5 finish, which included an embarrassing Egg Bowl loss to Mississippi State. We scrolled down one paragraph. All the winning in the 3 years since has made Kiffin the celebrity du jour of Oxford, but that scar tissue didn't go away. Ole Miss administrators were deeply frustrated by how the Auburn distractions derailed that potentially special season, and it appears to be having an impact on not wanting that to play out all over again, even if it worked out for Ole Miss the first time. The consternation isn't isolated to athletics either, as university side folks have expressed frustration in recent weeks with Kiffin's hold over the school.
I mean, sure, they've stretched their pocketbooks pretty far, and they're I'm just getting some information here. They're going to be inside the top 10, and they're not going to be 9 or 10 in NIL. And that was last year, and they're willing to go even higher this year. So that's where the frustration goes. It's like everything he's asked, he's getting. But also, what you have to understand is, and it might be a great setup for Lane. It'd be really good if he could get them in the national. There's also things going on that campus at Oxford that he can't control. So as much as you are as a administrator or whatever the heck it is that's mad, you better fix that stuff on campus if you're really trying to get him to do what he needs to do.
Call that alignment.
Yeah, and that's been going on for 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also going on in the present time. That ain't got nothing to do with Lane. So as much as you're pointing the finger, you need to direct that stuff right back to you and fix that. But I see their point. I see his point. He has to entertain it is part of winning. Auburn as well. I mean, heck, remember there was a time that Tennessee had thought about rehiring him after that fiasco.
Was that after Derek Dooley or Jeremy Pruitt?
It doesn't matter. Hey, I don't know it was probably after Derek. Derek Dooley had the best. He had the best post-game reaction ever when he just threw his headset off when he lost that game at the last second. A little Derek Dooley rolling out there. But look, this thing is a business. And we'll get into other stuff later. It's a business, and unfortunately, the business it's always been a business, but the business it's weird. It was always coaches making coaches' decisions and coaches' decisions and affecting people's career and saying it was business, right? Or just knowing it was business. Well, now it flipped with the whole NIL. Players like, oh, we're doing business because it became one-sided for them. They could go in and say, hey, you either pay me, I'm going somewhere else.
Right.
and you said by when? By the time I get on the elevator, I better get a call, right? So now it's kind of back and forth, and now it's back to the coaches. And now you have pressure on because there's so much with the rev sharing, there's so much money invested that now it's like corporate America business. We have to get the best CEOs or the best, which essentially are the coaches, and we'll go get them.
Yeah.
And we don't care because we ain't spending our money. We're spending their money. That's the donors. And so, look, man, Lane's got a nice setup. Anytime that you can go hot yoga, okay, with co-eds before the game, You got a nice little setup there, player. And I think his old lady's with him, so I'm just joking. But you got a nice little setup.
And knowing Lane, he would take that picture, knowing what it would do to the internet, and post it just for fun.
And you know what? He's got his life together.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I think it's. I know he has affinity for Steve Spurrier. That's his favorite dude. For what? That's cool.
Get ready to learn Les Miles, buddy.
But you get like that Florida job, man. I know it's great athletes down there. I know it is. I mean, you could build. I mean, you could.
Yeah.
I don't know, but everything else.
Here's this from Matt Brown, who writes for Extra Points. Based on only the total operating expenses from fiscal year 24 MFRS reports, Ole Miss actually had a higher football budget than Florida did by about $11 million. Now, Matt Brown also adds, but I can't think that's an accurate representation of the resource situation between the two schools. Obviously, more money in Florida than there is in Mississippi. But that is interesting to keep in mind, Jay, that, maybe Lane Kiffin wouldn't take a pay cut, right? But, an overall resources cut going to Florida, hard to imagine. But at least in 2024, Ole Miss spent more than Florida did. And maybe part of that is as simple as, well, Florida didn't believe in Billy Napier, so they didn't spend to support him, which we've seen time and time again. But it does make me wonder if it is the reality of the situation at a place like Florida or, say, Wisconsin or Virginia going into this year.
Yeah.
If the financial reality is we don't have this money, we still have to find it, or it's we don't believe in you, we're not going to spend it on you until you prove to us that you're worth it. Because if Florida has more money than Ole Miss, has more history than Ole Miss, has more tradition, wants to be a player, why would you not then outspend Ole Miss? Either the money's there and you're not using it and you're doing whoever the coach is a disservice, or the money's not there and you got to figure that out.
Well, you're lying.
Or that.
Hey, you come here. We got this NIL deal for it. Psych. Little boy, what was
Rashada?
it? Rashada. I still think LSU's in play.
I think if Florida's tired of waiting for Lane and they're talking to Summerall, it's going to be LSU for Lane.
That's just,
or he's staying put. Or would he take Auburn this time?
I don't know. I mean, he's got plenty of choices. But sometimes you can kind of hem-haw around and just kind of sit pat and lose them all. I think Lane's way smarter than that.
Well, and here's the thing. Let's say
his agent is as well.
Let's say he stays at Ole Miss, and yet he continued to let the fires burn, even though he has a good situation for him in Ole Miss. That's toxic.
It can be if they take it personal. Now,
which it sounds like a lot of them are more than happy to do.
That's just a smokescreen to say that they don't want them to go. They don't know how to express themselves.
Well, it's also probably an inferiority complex,
as it should be. You're Ole Miss still.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
No offense, but you still Ole Miss. All right, and
they don't call you Old Make.
I don't know. I don't think there's a perfect job out there anymore.
What's the closest to a perfect job?
For him?
Sure. For Lane, what's the closest thing to a perfect job?
The perfect job is the job he has. It's not the perfect scenario because you're in the SEC.
Right.
But the perfect job is what he has right now. I don't know enough about Penn State's administration. They keep everything real tight-lipped. But when you look at Auburn, all right.
Second fiddle, younger brother.
That's just hot garbage. And sure, you could be mad at Hugh Freeze because he played golf on Sundays. I mean, come on. Right? It only mattered when he was losing.
Yeah.
And he never really won, but,
Right.
But just think about the plethora of coaches they've had and the issues, right? LSU, right? Normally, until 3-4 weeks ago, that's the best job. Not so much. You just don't know what's going to. You don't even know. You don't know who your friends are, your enemies are. You just don't. That would be. But football wise, all that's it. But everything else outside of it, which is a big deal, which is part of the thing that Ole Miss stretched so much for him, so he could do his job. So he's not so much, stretched doing the wine and cheese and stuff like that. He has somebody that can handle that, and he does his thing very well. And then you have Florida. Same thing. where Ole Miss is willing to wait for you. But I think sometimes this recent success of Ole Miss of being in the forefront by Lane Kiffin's brand and on the field.
Well, that's kind of one and the same.
It is one and the same, but then Ole Miss is forgetting where you were and who you are. Now you think you are something, and then you will lose credibility immediately when he leaves the building, and that's on his mind too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's got a great setup there, but I know he's just from knowing him, and I'm not gonna fashion like we're like great friends or anything. Or, if I catch him on phone or whatever, that's it. We have a very good mutual friend. You know what I mean? One of my close friends is a close friend of him. So we sometimes communicate through there, and I never want to bother them like that. But I know he's got always like a thing from Florida. I know for a fact that I just know it.
So then, do you think that the Summerall interview is legit for Florida, or you think that's a leverage play to pressure Lane,
just in case? Lane's quirky. When you think you got him cornered, right when you think you got him figured out, he's just somewhere else. Yeah. He's like Geyser Soze. So,
let's get to this from 1171 Starter Herman Jewelers text line. My predictions: Summerall to Auburn, Drinkwitz to Florida, Dillingham or Riley to LSU, and Alex Golish to Arkansas.
I can see all that happening. Are you as high on Alex Golish after you saw them get mud stomped by Navy? I know DP was his hype. He loved Navy. He was hype. I know.
I'm a Navy family guy as well, so I'm always.
Are you? Did that affect?
I don't want to let one game happen. Sway my opinion that much. Golish is good, but he's also relatively new on the scene. It's like a year and a half of building now, so you got to weigh that more so than any one result. Of the guys on that list, honestly, I probably feel best about Drinkwitz.
Anybody that stands on business. We got the text of all centuries right here.
Is it 6785?
Yeah.
How about this? Lincoln Riley to LSU and Lane Kiffin to USC.
You heard what your boy from Michigan, what's his little name, Desmond Howard?
Mm-hmm.
He said he thinks that Riley, might lead. I call it a transfer fee. LSU would take over, and they'll pay an exit fee.
It'd be very hefty.
It's not a buyout.
Still hefty.
Those aren't that much. When you leave a job and go somewhere else, the buyouts are big. It's like 5-10 million.
I wouldn't be so sure this isn't double digit.
Yeah, 10 million.
I'm saying a little more than that.
No. Nobody even knows how much his contract is except me.
Except you.
Yeah.
Now, the funniest part about that...
Be Lane back out there?
No, it would be Lincoln Riley. I'm not taking the LSU job.
Oh, originally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't taking it this time.
I'm not going to LSU. I'm not taking the LSU job. Stop asking me. I'm not going to LSU. Hey, I'll be going to USC, though.
I think it could work with, whatever. I think somebody's going to have to make a decision now. I mean, obviously, James Franklin is at Virginia Tech. So sooner or later, businesses got to start getting done. Because, like you said, early signing day is here coming.
2 weeks.
So
2 weeks from today.
You got to do. I mean, then what are you going to do? You're going to start off way behind the 8 ball and just like take 5 or 6 losses at LSU or USC?
No.
Get it together.
Mm-hmm. Ben, why would anyone want to go coach to school where the governor is getting involved? LSU.
That's it. I think when you're at state schools, you gotta kind of mix. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure the governor at Ole Miss is there, and I'm sure the governor at Florida is probably would it be at University of Florida, or would it be Florida State he'd be involved, or all of them, right?
Both.
Yeah.
Really, just not Miami.
Yeah. So they're going to be involved anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to meet them and be involved. I don't think they're pulling the strings. They're just opinionated. So I think that's just part. When you're making that type of money as a state employee, you're going to see the governor.
You're real familiar.
Yeah. So nothing, just
part of the deal.
Yeah, part of the deal.
He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. We'll talk some college football playoff rankings. A couple new teams in. There's some movement. We'll discuss it next.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No Shave November is raising awareness of men's health and prostate cancer. Limitless Male wants you to know low T is real. Low energy, brain fog, belly fat, low libido. Your T levels matter. They affect how you function. If you have symptoms, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Fight fans! Dynasty Combat Sports returns to the Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday, November 21st for a massive night of cage fighting action. UFC veteran Derek Minner headlines as he faces Missouri's Jacob Ritchie. In the co-main event, Lincoln's Nate Morrow battles Ashton Caniglia, with Sean Lindgren and Jeremy Small throwing down in the featured pro bout. Local prospects Easton Edmund Boudin and Andrew Huffman lead the amateur side. 16 total fights are set for another electric night in the cage. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com or the arena box office. Fight card subject to change.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Soreja's Place Convenience Store and Biji's Best Restaurant in Lincoln salute our emergency first responders, law enforcement, firefighters, and paramedics for their professionalism, commitment, and bravery. These men and women put their lives on the line for us with little or no thanks. First responders deserve our admiration, so thank them for everything they do for us. This from Soreja's Place Convenience Store and Biji's Best Restaurant in Lincoln, serving the best Indian soup and rice every day inside the convenience store.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. This is Old School 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. College football playoff rankings came out yesterday. Of course, the weekly occurrence on Tuesdays. Not a whole lot necessarily has changed. But, Jay, Georgia moves up to number 4 after Alabama loses to Oklahoma. So the bracket as of today, it is still Ohio State, Indiana 1, 2, Texas A&M at 3. It's Georgia at 4. Texas Tech moves up to number 5. Ole Miss jumps to Alabama in the pecking order. Alabama drops all the way down to 10th.
That's crazy.
Now, as it would be set up, you have Oklahoma moving up to number 8. You would have the Sooners hosting Notre Dame. You would also have Oregon hosting Alabama in the 7-10 matchup. And Brad on our Starter Human Jewelers text line described Ole Miss as the lame duck school in the playoff right now, especially if Lane Kiffin were to take another job. Jay, I'm not so sure that's not Tulane, who, for the group of 5 school, no matter who it is, it's going to be an accomplishment. It's going to be an achievement to be that highest rated group of 5 champion. But we know Summerall's on the interview circuit. He's been a hot name for months now as well. I've liked Tulane. I've liked what he's built there. But man, for that fan base, that'd be a blow. To make the college football playoff, probably have to do it without your head coach. You still take the appearance, but man, you want to be at full strength.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough because you get there, and I'm sure they get a bonus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I assume so.
And you get blown out.
Yep. Thanks for playing. Thanks for coming.
Like a non-conference game.
Right.
So wherever he goes, he's most likely going to try to nab some of their best players, and there's going to be quite some time in between end of the season. Not a lot, but because he's going to be playing right away, or they'll be playing right away. And when you tee it up, yeah, it sucks, but that's just part of it. Where this coaching carousel with the amount of jobs open and opportunity, I mean, you just never know where people are going to go. And he's one of them. He's a hot commodity. He's got them on back in the national scene, for where they're at, and they want a young and upcoming coach that they could build with. He's shown he can build a program, sustain a program. So when you're trying to have stability there, and obviously he's pretty young too, as far as maybe to some of his counterparts that are a little bit older. It's just part of it, and that's very rarely would you go take Tulane to the college football playoffs if it's Tulane or a team like Tulane, and not one time does the phone ring for that coach, even if it's his first year.
Yeah,
they would think you have secret sauce down there and try to find out what you got going on.
The other big point of discussion, I think, coming out of last night's rankings is Notre Dame and Miami. Miami in there now is the ACC placeholder. Canes have only a 7% chance to reach the ACC championship game. Need a lot to break right for them to get there, but they are put in as the ACC champion for now, as the highest rated ACC team. But Jay, they're still 2 spots below Notre Dame, who you might remember Miami beat head to head. But here's the difference. I think the reason, I don't think the committee did a very good job of explaining it. They just said, oh, well, they're not close enough for us to need to compare them right now. Notre Dame at 9, Miami at number 13. What the committee should have said is that we're not comparing these 2 teams because Notre Dame doesn't have to be a conference champion, because Miami essentially does have to be a conference champion. Essentially, Miami's 3 spots back now of the playoff, if you do the math. And by just saying, oh, well, we can ignore that head-to-head result because it doesn't matter right now. Well, when you see them separated by 2 spots in the bracket, people are going to think it matters. But for you to say you didn't take it under consideration, maybe they just think Notre Dame's that much better than Miami right now. Maybe they think Miami is just going to fall off or something. I don't know. But if you're putting Miami in the field and they're only going to be 2 spots separated between them and Notre Dame, you got to have a better answer than, well, we didn't think it mattered.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, because it's almost like you're punishing Miami for the
For the
game
win.
for the loss a couple weeks ago, but it will let you in. But we're gonna make sure Notre Dame is in good standing. So it's, I don't know, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do, just because when you look at this bracket, man, it's like there's some good games, but it's like when you can't explain it and something bad goes out, it's kind of like the SMU going up to Penn State. Like,
right.
Did you just get a bye week? Because SMU looked cold. They looked unprepared, and they looked like the moment was too big. So you want to make sure that you kind of remedy some of the things that you didn't, I guess, project or do well last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so not having the right answers, not the right, the right scenarios, and not taking head-to-head, because in years past that's kind of been the deciding factor.
Yeah.
And depending on when you went head-to-head and who's playing well now and who's not, also is a big deal too.
It needs to be. It sure needs to be a big deal, because those teams did play. And in an era of college football where things are so spread out, where not everyone is playing each other, and you have a head-to-head data point, you got to use it.
Yeah.
You plain and simple have to use it. The games that I think would be really interesting, I do think that Notre Dame-Oklahoma game would be a fascinating one for a chance at Ohio State. Oklahoma and Ohio State haven't really crossed paths all that much for being 2 pretty big-name schools in college football history. Then, of course, it could set up for a quasi-championship rematch from last year between Ohio State and Notre Dame. And then Alabama-Oregon. That's one, Jay, that at the beginning of the college football playoff era, we didn't really see. There's Oregon and Auburn at the end of the BCS, and then it was Oregon and Florida State.
Yeah.
We got Ohio State and Alabama, which I'm sure was, ratings gold back in the day. But making Alabama go on the road, and Alabama still has to earn its way in, because how funny would it be if a coachless, rudderless, directionless Auburn team knocked Alabama out of the playoff and maybe opened up a spot for like a BYU?
Man, that would be the worst thing that could happen for the college football playoff committee and college football. I mean, you got to think 2 commissioners that would be puckered up pretty tight. Sankey and the Big Ten commissioner would be, because the Big Ten commissioners already puckered up tight.
Oh, yeah.
And Sankey obviously wants Alabama to be in there based on them being left out last year and the run that they've been on.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they mishap and lose to an Auburn team that's literally like a cesspool, that'd be a hard pill to swallow.
Before we go to break, the other thing that I think fascinates me, it's USC Oregon this week. USC at number 15, Oregon at number 7. Oregon loses this one, they're done. USC loses this one, they're done. USC has been walking that tightrope.
Yeah.
They've needed to win out to get in. They've done it so far. They're halfway through November. But man, can you imagine USC making a late charge, knocking Oregon out, and then we'll see from there. Does Oklahoma stumble once? Does Alabama stumble once? Does someone clip BYU? Because I do think a USC win over Oregon would either vault USC to next team in or first team out or last team in status.
I think if they beat Oregon, they get in. Then the trust would be there.
They're kind of building to it.
Yeah. And then
here's the problem. I think USC has Washington in
That's what I was just about to say. And then USC does what USC does. It just let them off the hook. They'll just let you off the hook, man.
And Jed Fish with his crowning achievement before he heads to UCLA.
Yeah, or wherever he's going.
Or is he going to Arizona State after Kenny Dillingham leaves for LSU?
Might end up at Florida.
Florida alum Jed Fish.
That's where he got started at. You know who his roommate was?
Lane Kiffin?
In college.
I have no idea.
Howie Roseman. You know how he got the job at Florida?
Howie Roseman?
No.
Oh.
No, how he got it. He was a volunteer coach and then moved up from there in Florida. Jed Fish is a tennis player. Yeah. He never played football.
Interesting.
But he cool
He
as a
coached
fan.
it.
Well, he cool as a fan, though. He's probably the coolest tennis player ever. And yes, he's way cooler than Josh Rosen. That was at UCLA. He just went by every day and stuck notes on Steve Spurrier's car until he finally called him.
I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
Good
now
for him.
look at him.
A couple things from the text line. Waverly Jim, the powers that be will not let Auburn beat Alabama. We all know that.
I'm not mad at that.
Try telling that to Chris Davis. Crazy things happen in rivalry games. Try as you might. Auburn probably should have won it a couple of years ago. Let Alabama off the hook late in that. And then 1171, Notre Dame ahead of Alabama is laughable. Alabama has 5 ranked wins. Notre Dame has 2. Since when do we give more credit for good losses than good wins? Part of that is, Bama had the season opening loss to Florida State, and they do have the more recent loss now to Oklahoma. Bama is still in. They're right next to each other. But also, ranked wins is kind of funny business. Because what rankings really matter. We've seen this before. What teams, what conferences get the benefit of the doubt in the rankings? It's the Big Ten and the SEC.
Yeah.
Alabama has more opportunities because they're given more opportunities. Some of that's on Notre Dame. It's independent schedule. It's alliance with the ACC and all of that. I still don't love the idea of Notre Dame being in there at number 9 as a 2-loss team that really failed its first 2 tests early in the year, but they have rounded into form. They have. That was a good SEC game between Oklahoma and Alabama. I think after that one, Oklahoma earned its way in, if not all the way up to number 8. Maybe that would have had them a little further down, but so be it. But the fact that they're right next to each other as both 2-loss teams, I think that is the committee telling you, even though the record's the same, they didn't get there the same way.
Yeah.
But even at the end of the day, they're pretty similar.
Yeah, I like it.
And they're both on the road.
There's a lot of pressure, though.
There is.
There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure, but it's not, because if you handle your business early and then hold serve when you're supposed to, these last 2 or 3 weeks aren't as hard.
Yeah.
But now both teams, like Notre Dame, if they just have a lay an egg, or you know what I mean, or like USC, Oregon.
Sorry, that's on you.
It wouldn't be. It would be tough not to see 2 psychopaths in him and Kirby Smart in the college football playoffs. Them 2 dudes is great. I thought I was great. Them 2 dudes is nuts for just the same reasons. And they were both on the same coaching staffs. Imagine those guys being in meetings.
Where do you think Lanning learned it, though?
Kirby, and then from Nick,
and then Saban.
Yeah.
Where does Saban learn it? Did he get it at LSU? Or was it Stephen Ross in Miami?
But no, he had it at Michigan State a little bit. He had them boys playing a little bit. I think he really turned it up a notch when he got to LSU with that one dude. What's the one that dude? Was it Beauchamp or Muscamp?
Oh, Will Muschamp.
Muschamp?
Yeah.
Them 2 brothers there, though, man. I saw a video of them 2. I could just imagine, because it was I know I would mess up, do something, and just see them 2 waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. Nah.
And there's nowhere to run.
Can't run, can't hide.
Like when I tried to avoid Reggie, I went all the way down, trying to do thing, and he just right there. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. I think it's going to be interesting these next couple weeks, man. This week especially.
A lot out there to play for.
How
2 weeks away.
Do you act when you're comfortable? Are you comfortable, USC?
Shouldn't be.
I mean, have you let your guard down?
Mm-hmm.
Because you beat an Iowa team that nobody thought you could run that counter against, and King was a king again.
Mm-hmm.
So now you kind of did something. You stood up to a physicality of Iowa, even though Iowa went away from the run game. On to the next. We're going to see how you are now. Can you do it on a bigger basis?
How real are you, Oregon? TBD. We'll talk more about that game as we get closer. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. We'll wrap up Hour 1 of Old School after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Soregis Place Convenience Store and Vichy's Best Restaurant in Lincoln salute our emergency first responders, law enforcement, firefighters, and paramedics for their professionalism, commitment, and bravery. These men and women put their lives on the line for us with little or no thanks. First responders deserve our admiration, so thank them for everything they do for us. This from Surej's Place convenience store and Bijou's Best restaurant in Lincoln. Serving the best Indian soup and rice every day inside the convenience store.
This Black Friday, it is time to hit your goals before the new year even starts. At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, get 40% off our next 10-week challenge, plus 6 weeks for free to kickstart your fitness journey. Start training December 1st with kickboxing, strength training, and personalized nutrition. So when our official challenge begins January 10th, you're already ahead of the game. Spots are limited. Don't wait for January to make your resolution. Start strong now. Visit fxbeatlincoln.com or stop by one of our 2 locations at South 40th and Yankee Hill or North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Stronger starts here.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg-curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Fight fans, Dynasty Combat Sports returns to the Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday, November 21st for a massive night of cage fighting action. UFC veteran Derek Minner headlines as he faces Missouri's Jacob Ritchie. In the co-main event, Lincoln's Nate Morrow battles Ashton Caniglia, with Sean Lindgren and Jeremy Small throwing down in the featured pro bout. Local prospects Easton Edmond, Boudin, and Andrew Huffman lead the amateur side. 16 total fights are set for another electric night in the cage. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com or the arena box office. Fight card subject to change.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up hour 1 of Old School, Austin Norman and Jay Foreman, with you. Big thanks to our friends at Grotto Bar and Lounge. Check them out in the Clock Tower Shopping Plaza, 70th and A. All sorts of great daily specials, all sorts of great unique menu items. That's Grotto Bar and Lounge, 70th and A here in Lincoln. A couple days late for us to discuss this with Brian Munson on the recruiting segment, but Dayton Raiola did indeed decommit from Nebraska. No quarterback in the 2026 class for the Huskers right now. Jay, we've mentioned it a couple times. Only a couple weeks from early signing day, Nebraska could still go out and pursue one perhaps by February. I wonder if Dayton Raiola, now being out of the fold, means that essentially Marcos Davila, the transfer they brought in this year, is now essentially the 2026 year quarterback.
You could look at it like that, but then also, there'll be some shuffling around, and so you might be able to get somebody in a couple weeks. I'm sure they had. I doubt they. I don't think they were actively looking for anybody. I don't know the dynamics of what the decommitment, what the reasons were, but you always have a list of guys and kind of keep track of everybody just because you have to, and so they'll be able to go out and get one if they need, and you never know, you might get one after January.
And maybe your read on the situation is different than mine, but my gut tells me that just because Dayton decommits, that's an individual decision. If whatever happens with his older brother happens, but probably will not be related directly to this.
No, they're not. I know Don pretty well. They're not a impulsive or emotional family, and this is the first or the second big decision, pretty much really the biggest decision that Dayton's had to make it. Because I know for a fact he always wanted to be a Husker. I know that. I've been knowing the kid forever, and that's all he's ever wanted to do. And he's having a great senior year. I'm sure he's opened some eyes because he's improved a lot. He's on one of the best teams in the nation. I don't think that swayed him. Whatever his reasons were, it is what it is. It's part of it. It just so happens that his brother's on the team, and they all support each other in their decision. So that's what he'll make the right decision, or right for one. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't mean necessarily that the door is completely shut. He might needed a break. He might want to see if there's anything else out there. They might have been, wanting to see, and then maybe they come back together and say, "Look, man,
we had it right the first time."
We had it right the first time.
Yeah,
you just never know. So, he's a good kid. He'll make, he'll be fine. I'm sure he's got playoffs, a lot of pressure, chance to be a state champ, and then he's got this. It'll all work itself out.
2 decommits for Nebraska then in the span of really the last 72, 96 hours. We'll talk more with Brian Munson about that on Monday. When we get back, we'll talk with Evan Blaine of the Omaha World Herald in hour 2 of the show. Some NBA news. Stars missing games. LeBron James back, but the NBA doesn't have an issue. Are we in the point in the timeline where the NBA needs to reduce the schedule? Is it on how the players play? We'll get into that. Plenty more still ahead on the show. Of course, Whiteboard Wednesday coming up at 5. This is Old School on the Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
This Black Friday, it is time to hit your goals before the new year even starts. At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, get 40% off our next 10-week challenge, plus 6 weeks for free to kickstart your fitness journey. Start training December 1st with kickboxing, strength training, and personalized nutrition. So when our official challenge begins January 10th, you're already ahead of the game. Spots are limited. Don't wait for January to make your resolution. Start strong now. Visit fxbeatlincoln.com or stop by one of our 2 locations at South 40th and Yankee Hill or North 70th and Vine. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping. Stronger starts here.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies and light winds. The high near 54. Tonight, decreasing cloud cover and light winds. The low around 41. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies return with light winds. The high around 60. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Fight fans, Dynasty Combat Sports returns to the Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday, November 21st for a massive night of cage fighting action. UFC veteran Derek Minner headlines as he faces Missouri's Jacob Ritchie. In the co-main event, Lincoln's Nate Morrow battles Ashton Caniglia, with Sean Lindgren and Jeremy Small throwing down in the featured pro bout. Local prospects Easton Edmund, Boudin, and Andrew Huffman lead the amateur side. 16 total fights are set for another electric night in the cage. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com or the arena box office. Fight card subject to change.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and it's that time of the year again. Time for the annual Happy Honda Days at Honda of Lincoln. With me on the line, Andy Goodyear, to tell us all about it.
The exciting news is we have more selection and more savings. We have over 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from, with a great opportunity to get year-end savings on every remaining new 2025.
Do you have some Happy Honda Day specials?
Sure do, Charlie. For example, you can lease a new 2025 Accord Sport Hybrid for just $349 a month, and we have financing from just 0% APR. We've also included over 125 pre-owned of all makes and models. And as always, our certified pre-owns are in this sale as well.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome into hour 2 of Old School here on The Ticket. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. Don't get a chance to talk much NBA. We're going to do that right now. Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. No, I'm not going to convince you of everything. 402-464-5685. I promise you NBA players aren't as soft as you think they are. Even if I don't change your mind, allow me to lay out some data and some thoughts before you as to why you could at least consider changing your mind or giving the players and the teams at least a little bit of some benefit of the doubt. Thanks as always to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop with 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha for their sponsorship of the show. Again, 3 Lincoln locations, 1 in Omaha. You can also learn more online, themercadobutcher.com. All right, let's start with this. Stars in the NBA missing time. The NBA's definition of a star is a player who has been an all-star or all-NBA player in the last 3 seasons. And then so far this year, going into yesterday's games, those players, 45 of them, had already combined for 200 missed games. Some names include Jalen Williams and Tyler Hero, who haven't played yet. Zion Williamson, Anthony Davis, and Trae Young have barely played so far this year. Of course, a chunk of that 200 games, Jay, would come from, you look at Tatum, Halliburton, Irving, and Lillard being injured. But even if you take those 4 guys and the games they've missed out of that 200, Stars have only played in 75% of the available games, down from 87% of available games at this point 2 years ago. Okay, 17 teams have multiple guys that fit that criteria of either All-Star or All-NBA in the last 3 years. Those 17 teams have only had their full, complement of star players play together in 32% of potential games, and only 9 of those 17 teams have even had all their stars available simultaneously even once this season. That's a lot. For a league, Jay, in the NBA that starts when it does, late October, early November, play a bunch of games. You're competing with college football. You're competing with kind of early mid-season in the NFL. To have this many players, again, 45 guys who have combined for 200 missed games already this year, that's not exactly getting off on the right foot.
No, not at all. And it's interesting because, take the injured guys out because that's just, you can't put them in you can't put them in the equation. You wonder, what is it about the offseason that their guys are dropping so early, right? Do you need a longer preseason to get them kind of ramped up? You're going to have to change something to make sure that these quote unquote star players are playing. Number one, you want the fans to get their money worth, and obviously with the TV rights, you want to have the best product out there, right? You want to be able to stream it and everything, and not to be like, oh, well, it's only a Tuesday. We know, Steph Curry and LeBron's not going to play or whatever, just be, what load management. And I don't think changing the amount of games will help. These guys don't want to work. So they want to get paid the max and work less. So you're going to have to find a way to structure the contracts based on how many games are available within reason, right? And we know that there's times that, guys have just decided that, this is their pitch count and they're taking a day off. And there is, do you have to have more days in between? Maybe you don't do back-to-backs. Maybe you just do back-to-backs. And then you kind of have your mini bye week like you do in the NFL, like on a Thursday night game. You got to find some incentives for the guys to play. And there's too many incentives for them not to play. It's no skin off their back. They're still getting paid the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're losing a game check. You're not really losing credibility because their credibility comes from their game checks. They're not playing for the pride of the game and getting the respect. Now, the respect is the paycheck, and there is a balance in between that. But then also maybe if you change the CBA to where, they cut out the middleman, the way that the salary cap is with the apron and all that. Maybe that will get some of the guys that are kind of overlooked and playing on almost at the league minimum. They'll be able to rise up and push those guys. I don't know right now they got to look at everything. And sure, you might have to be open to it. But what if it doesn't work? How are you going to sell? So if you go from 82 to 68, right? How are you going to sell back those 14 games? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, preseason's not going to do that for you.
Well, okay, say you go, okay, we're going to try a 2-year experiment for 68 games. What networks are going to just be out 14 games?
Yeah, I guess.
So that means, are you taking less money? Like,
can't afford to do that right now. You just signed a new deal,
right? So we locked in. So stop talking about it. You get what I'm saying? Because that ain't changing. What's got to change is the guys getting out there on the floor.
What has changed already is the pace of games. 101 possessions per 48 minutes this year. Last year at this time, it was 99 possessions for 48 minutes. Compared to 1997, that's 10 more possessions per game.
And
Okay.
so,
And it's the fastest pace on average league-wide since the 1980s. Okay, that's just something to keep in mind.
regular season.
Regular season,
But what happens in the playoffs?
we all know it slows down a little bit, but you got to get through the regular season to get to the postseason.
So,
And those 10 extra possessions per game, per 48 minutes, add up. When did Tyrese Halliburton pop his Achilles? Started game 7. You know, that's a problem. Jason Tatum, when did he pop his? Started the playoffs. Kyrie Irving, when did he injure his knee? Right before the playoffs would have been.
so do
in
you
that kind of
expand the
window.
rosters then?
That's an option.
Well, then expand the rosters. Then you have no excuse. But you still suiting up and you playing. Like, the pace of play is one thing, but that's not affecting everybody out there playing. You're choosing to play this way.
Okay.
So
I'm glad we got there.
Right?
Because what the NBA is going to be hard-pressed to do is legislate the three-point shot and the style of play out of the game. It's been proven to be effective. Teams get their different ways. The league is more stylistically diverse, and I think its detractors want to give it credit for. But everyone knows what a good shot and what a bad shot is, right? Teams are playing faster. They're taking more threes, more shots at the rim because those are the quote-unquote efficient shots. You're also not going to legislate athleticism out of the game, right? Because think back to, let's go to 97, that year when pace was 10 possessions slower. It was a different kind of physical challenge. That was brawn. That was muscle. It was physical contact. It was bumps and bruises. One of the more common injuries now, Jay, we spent a little bit of time talking about it when it happened to Tatum and Halliburton in the playoffs, and it's popping up again now with even a guy like Victor Wembanyama. You have a guy who's 7'4", doing guard movements. Think about the injuries that we've talked about a lot. Sure, knee injuries have happened here and there, but kind of the injury du jour in the NBA is the Achilles.
Yeah.
You know, what ends up being the buffer or the biggest help to the Achilles is the calf. You're running 10 more possessions. You're jumping even more. You're changing directions because everyone's a guard now. Yeah, sure. You always put miles on your calves and on your Achilles, no matter what you're doing. But when you had double big lineups where both guys sat in the paint and really had to run, paint to paint, weren't asked to guard out on the perimeter, weren't asked to dribble, weren't asked to handle and create. Again, this isn't everyone, but it's more and more players across the league. It was a different kind of wear and tear. Something will change in the NBA. I don't know if it's going to happen organically, though, because the more and more guys you have playing faster with guard skills, with guard movements, putting unnatural strain on their calves and on their Achilles and wearing down by the end of the year. Victor Wembanyama was a headlining star, leading the number 2 defense in the league, essentially single-handedly with what he can do as an alien. 30 years ago, that guy's in the paint. Now, where he quote-unquote should be.
He's like
but
Ralph
the evolution of the game moves him out. You can't tell him not to do that. It's modern basketball. You can't say, okay, well, if you're 6'10" and above, you're not allowed out beyond the 3-point line on offense. That's not going to happen. So either players have to get smarter because, hey, maybe this isn't best for me long term. Same thing with pitchers in baseball. But it's what's incentivized. This is what gets me paid right now. This is my best chance to make it to the league, is to have this skill or these skills in my bag. You have to be really careful about how you tweak the incentive system, because you don't want to say, well, just because we don't like this style of play, we're getting rid of it. It's been what's proven to be effective. Teams are always, always, always going to chase that unless you give them a reason not to. Wemby just has a calf strain right now, but the reason teams are so cautious with that is because it does protect the Achilles so much. And I think that there are enough medical doctors who have done studies out there that say, yeah, the way these guys are moving, the rate at which they're moving, that does provide maybe some extra strain that these guys aren't used to seeing on that specific part of their body, that's leading to more and more of these games, which is where you can only do so much in the realm of rehab, in the realm of nutrition, and in the realm of prevention before the miles ultimately add up and one wrong step costs a guy a year.
Yeah, but these guys ain't got a lot of miles on them. Like, I mean, do you think these dudes didn't play hard like this amount of strain? They played basketball.
Well, I think it was different amount of strain.
Yeah, but they played
different
basketball, Austin, year round when the NBA, like when Jordan, they played hard year round, even in the off season. These dudes chill. Get your ass in shape, man. You getting paid 30 something, 40 million. Sometimes guys $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you come into training camp in so shape, and then you just kind of use the first quarter of the season, get in shape. That's not a mileage or a pace place. That's a you problem. It's a byproduct of paying these dudes way too much money and not working. Now, sure, Kevin Durant, he had been playing a lot, right? And sure, and I get it, he was older. Same with Kyrie and the way they play. There is probably evidence for it, but I think, guarding against injuries based on the rules that they let set forth, the paces, essentially, you're not even band-aided the problem. You're just essentially taking one wound and putting another part of your body because you're not fixing what needs to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
You either expand the rosters, you can't shorten the schedule because you already got paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So then now let's figure out how we can make this schedule better so there's ample amount of rest, travel, so forth and so on, and see where it goes from there. If you expand the roster, and then you have to go deeper in your bench, but you're still playing the guys.
Yeah. And that's where I land ultimately, is that if you give guys more options, give coaches more options, they're going to want their best guys out there on the court more often, obviously. But can you get to a point where these guys are out there often enough, they're playing, they can meet the 65 game threshold then to be eligible for the awards?
They know what
but
big
also
games
keep
are.
them healthy.
Those guys know what big games are.
They do.
A lot of guys don't have pride enough to play in big games. When they're playing against somebody good, they're like, all right, man, it's just my day off. How you doing? Hey, man.
Well, you're talking about Embiid ducking Jokic all the time.
That and multiple guys. The pride of stepping out there, the Cade Cunningham, the guy that wants to bring it to you and prove himself, versus the guy that feels like he's proved himself and wants to get his get back against the Cunningham, or Cunningham get it against him, or whatever, isn't there. You get what I'm saying? So you can expand the rosters. I think you also need to address the CBA. You got to get more mid-level contracts back in there, right? Because that'll bring rising tide lifts all ships, and so that'll put more pressure on guys to be out there. But then also it'll save the coach can look down the bench, and what's his name that was with the Clippers last night? The left Powell, right?
Norm Powell.
Norm Powell that got traded. Right? Remember, he got traded. So he got traded instead of them giving him a new contract. So now I can go sign a Norm Powell, right? To a really good contract, a mid-level contract, or like, Beasley before he got hurt, knowing, okay, I got to rest Jimmy Butler or whoever, right? We're still going to win. So my job's going to be safe because I know I have a reliable veteran down there, not only for the next couple of years. So I can start mapping out my team with my star players and my supporting cast, which is those type of guys, right, for the next 2 or 3 years, instead of shipping them to Miami because we don't want to pay them, because either we pay the 4 guys that we, have as the top level guys, and then the guys that are at or below the veteran minimum, and a good player like that in our system that we kind of can take credit for that we developed because of the opportunity, because of some injuries and load management. Now he's gone. Playing in Miami in a situation that's so at best for him.
Yeah.
So both teams are losing. Miami's not getting the best version of him.
The Clippers aren't as good as they were
either. And then overall, it's not helping anybody either. And then also, even bigger than overall, is the networks aren't getting the best product out there.
Dad chimes in. Good show, guys. Part of his long-term wear and tear from playing AAU or other basketball for years and years, from ages younger than ever. The Achilles tendon only has so many miles in it. We're seeing this, I think, in basketball now with the Achilles. Baseball's had to reckon with this, and they're still fighting their way through it with the ulnar collateral ligament in the elbow. Those are relatively small, tendons and ligaments that a lot is required of. And the more you require of it, in terms of the force and the load and the number of games and times you're going to jump or you're going to throw, there's only, so many miles in all of them. I mean, having Tommy John surgery in high school is incredible for pitchers now in baseball, right? You never want Achilles injuries. They sap a lot of athleticism. Now the rehab is better than it ever has been in terms of the procedures to get you back. I mean, Jason Tatum, just a couple months after his surgery, was dunking off 2 feet. So certainly the medical technology is improving. But I think the point stands that the more you specialize, the more that you're doing can be dangerous unless you have a plan for what you're doing and working out other muscles alongside it to make sure that you're not just stressing that one repeatedly and letting it be the ticking time bomb that it's turned into.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, obviously I've obviously seen the amount of games. I always, and I think I think they have a better handle on it now where, like, when you're playing in these live events, it's only, 4 games a weekend, but it's a money grab. I mean, it is a lot of these tournaments. And, I think there is some credit to there, a few years ago, I think Kevin Garnett talked about it, where some of those, like, he was talking about the Compton team that had that was it Mikey Williams?
Mikey Williams, yeah.
Where he would come and they played like 6 games or something like that. Now it's really 4 games. Now the timing in between the games is something, but you get a lot of wear and tear on it. But I also think, like,
did you know Mikey Williams is still in college?
Yeah, he's at Sacramento State, right?
Indeed, he is.
I think also having some sort of off-season program, realistic program, and taking care of your body is a bigger part of that. I know they all work hard. I know Kyrie does, and maybe he, got worn out or whatever. There is credit to that. But I also know this modern day athlete, and especially NBA players, NFL players as well. These brothers break. Okay. You get what I'm saying? And if you're a professional, college and pros, there is no time off. There's only short segments where you get to redirect your energy, but you never lose focus on what your job is. Because you've seen, like, the documentaries where, sure, the pace of play wasn't the same in the NBA, but physically it was different. But they played year round. So they're playing just as much. And I understand the more possessions. So there's a way to it. You got to get your body in shape for it, but also think, like, I can almost guarantee their NBA training camps aren't as hard.
It's just weird with all the, improvements in nutrition and technology and rehab, though, that we're seeing more of these injuries, even if guys are working less.
Well,
unless you're saying the muscle gets out of shape.
Yeah, but if you don't use it, you don't train it, you're out of shape. These guys, a lot of these guys just because they got big arms don't mean they in shape. These football players.
Yeah.
You're out of shape.
I get it. Yeah.
Now I do think like baseball, when you got kids overthrowing, I think a lot of that stuff from a very young age, just like some of the injuries that you get in football, the fundamentals are just pushed to the side. What's sexy now?
Velocity.
Right. What's sexy now? Trying to go and knock somebody out or do something that you don't need to, right? Because it gets you on Instagram.
Yeah.
Basketball, what do you want to do? You want to do like 85 dribbles, in and out dribbles.
And then go dunk on someone.
And then jump off the wrong foot so you can go viral. But in the game, that doesn't work. So I think there's the problem is there's like 4 major things, and you do have to actively attack the ones that you can control. You can control that mid-level player that's no longer in the league or is jettisoned down to the
G League or Europe or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Or Europe, going overseas, or league minimum, or and some guys are talking about what's his name? Larry Nance Jr. was talking about, I think he took a contract below whatever his veteran slot it is to do it, right? That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? So you can control that, right? You can control the schedule. You got 82 games. You got a time frame when you start. If you got to start later, or you got to start earlier, end, or whatever it needs to be, you can work it out. Sure, you might have less, let's say Lakers Celtics back in the day, or whatever, the two like clashing of the Titans, where you might, instead of having it 4 times a year, you might only have it 2, but it's for the betterment of the league that you have it.
That's where the CBA point and that scheduling point would be really interesting to see the league's internal data, because I think especially in basketball, since the decision, maybe before that a little bit, but really since the decision, quote unquote, player empowerment era that LeBron really kicked off, the NBA has become more about the individual than about the team.
1,000%.
Which is where you see those salaries explode, right? The salary cap jump in 2015, 16, 17, somewhere in there. Also, in conjunction with that, helped lead to a lot of where we are, where a lot of NBA fans, my guess is, especially ones, maybe like right here in Lincoln, that don't have a team, but they have a player.
Yeah.
So they'll follow them around and around. I would love to see the league's internal data and get their opinions on, do they think that their popularity is because of the players or because of the league itself? It would be a huge leap of faith, I would guess, for most people sitting up there in the offices in New York to say, you know what? We have to use our stars and market them, face of the NBA discussion, whatever. We've had that. But what we think is better for the league long term is making sure we have 30 healthy franchises, more so than 30 healthy individual stars.
Well,
you get 24 All-Stars, you get 15 All-NBA guys a year, and sure, those guys will drive ratings. But I think more than anything, those guys need to be the reason that fans in those cities come to watch them play. But for the casual NBA fans, they just want to flip on a game after work, they're watching at a bar, and they just want to enjoy the league, maybe aren't a diehard, that's where it's more important to have, I think, 30 healthy teams than 15 healthy stars.
Yeah, 30 healthy teams. You make it to where each team has a true star. If you can fudge with the schedule, everybody's on national games as well. So that's profiling or bringing up everybody else's profile.
Yeah. And not just NBA TV paywall.
Right.
That,
Right. So I'm talking about the real deal. Right. So now and then, really it is about the players. That's why it's so important in this case. We talked about it 10 million times. I remember when I was excited with Chet against, Wemby, because that's going to be potentially the NBA moving forward. Now they have to be able to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing, we don't have the next up and coming American born superstar, legit iconic player. We have all the Europeans. We don't have that. So now that discussion there lets you know it's about the players. Now, maybe LeBron's decision changed that, and it was great, but it was probably forced because he could be the moving force to get the guys paid, probably their market value. So again, the things that you could control, you didn't control. So now you're having another go round at it, and you can't sit on your hands because you have to go back and maybe look at how we got here, which is the very beginning, right, to right now.
And you get back to where you are. Some of the stuff you're going to have to give back.
Right. And if you want to have a little bit of the rivalries of back, when I was watching, or I still watch, but, watching when it was really good because it was healthy, because you got to think Charles Barkley and them, you got to see Charles Barkley 7 games against Jordan in the first round. 7.
Yeah.
Right. And you saw it on the West Coast. You saw Kevin Johnson and Tom Chambers and them against the Lakers and that. You want to get back to that, you're going to have to make adjustments. It's not just going to fall out of the air and get Steph Curry and LeBron James. They are about to exit stage right or stage left or whatever it's called, and you don't have a next opening act.
No.
You don't.
Not right now.
Right, because you've had time. Now you've had some circumstances. Zion, Anthony Edwards said, I'm cool, right? Maybe that'll change as he matures.
Even COVID. You got maybe even 5 years from there. We're like, this is what it looks like without these guys.
Right. But you had a couple guys that you thought could take over the league, and they had opportunities. Maybe it's your boy at BYU. Doubt it.
Maybe it's that number 32 in Dallas.
He ain't athletic enough, but he cold-blooded, though.
My boy Coop ain't athletic enough?
No.
You kidding me?
And neither is your boy Boozer.
No. We'll have to have a conversation at some point.
Highly disappointed.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
No, man. My man looked like he run with Timberlands on. The ones I had.
We'll have the Cam Boozer conversation at some point. Mud Dog says, I used to be much more into the NBA, big-time NBA guy growing up. I've been much more into college ball the last 5 or 6 years. Not even sure why it's all changed for me, but I know I'm not alone. Well, Mud Dog, Corner 3, Friday 6 to 7 right here, 93.7 The Ticket. Highly recommend you check it out. We'll go to break. Call Bevan Blando, the Omaha World Herald, right after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Brown's Shoe Fit has a Black Friday deal so good it's available for 3 days. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit from November 28th through November 30th for 20% off everything store-wide. Brown's has all your favorite brands, plus Lincoln's largest selection of Uggs, which make the perfect Christmas gift. And speaking of stocking stuffers, buy 3 Smart Wool socks, get 1 free during the extended Black Friday sale from November 28th through November 30th at Brown's Shoe Fit, 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930, all deals with approved credit.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Fight fans, Dynasty Combat Sports returns to the Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday, November 21st for a massive night of cage fighting action. UFC veteran Derek Minner headlines as he faces Missouri's Jacob Ritchie. In the co-main event, Lincoln's Nate Morrow battles Ashton Caniglia, with Sean Lindgren and Jeremy Small throwing down in the featured pro bout. Local prospects Easton Edmund, Boudin, and Andrew Huffman lead the amateur side. 16 total fights are set for another electric night in the cage. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com or the arena box office. Fight card subject to change.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in to Old School here on The Ticket Off. Norman J. Foreman with you. 4:30 on a Wednesday means we're headed to our Aloe Fiber VIP line, where we're joined by Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, last time we talked, you were just getting back from your trip out to sunny Los Angeles. Are you preparing for a trip out to Cloudy State College this weekend?
Yeah, preparing. It's a little bit more of an adventure to get there. I've only been one time, 2017, and it's unless you're really invested in flying right into State College, you go to either Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. We're going to Pittsburgh and making the 3-hour drive. So yeah, I'll be there. It's going to be a little bit different experience than the Rose Bowl.
That 2017 game, that was the 56-45 shootout, right?
Yep. Nebraska was a big underdog. Saquon Barkley was rolling that year, and then Nebraska scored a bunch in garbage time. I remembered it was wet and the weather was gross. And they scored a couple late touchdowns just to kind of draw the ire of the locals. It was never really in doubt. But yeah, ultimately, Nebraska kind of hung in there. I think they covered that day for what it's worth.
Good teams win, great teams cover. So shout out that 2017 Nebraska team for being great, although the betting was much more behind the scenes at that point than it would be. Now, interesting series in the Big Ten here, Evan, between these two. They play the first 3 years that Nebraska is in the league. Then they have that gap until 2017. They play in the COVID year that Nebraska wins here at home, and they haven't played since. This is one that I get with the divisions breaking out the way they did, why it didn't become more regular. But, man, if you would have told me, Nebraska is in the Big Ten, that's a a team in Penn State they have a lot of history with, I would have thought this would have become maybe more of a regular series than once every 4 or 5 years.
I think that was probably the original vision when Nebraska joined. I mean, Penn State was a relatively late Big Ten add too in the 90s, and so I think there was that time in the early 2010s when Jim Delaney, the Big Ten commissioner, and TV folks thought that could be two major brands going at it right below Ohio State and Michigan, and obviously didn't turn out that way. And Penn State had its own struggles, and I think everyone's going to remember, the game that Nebraska played out there the week after they fired Joe Paterno, and just all the emotions that were into that because of the Jerry Sandusky scandal. But I mean, it's two brands that are unquestionably blue bloods in the sport, and everyone talks about kind of the 94 teams, when Penn State went undefeated, Nebraska won the national title, so they're kind of tied together that way. But I was kind of surprised to learn as I've gone back that even Tom Osborne and Joe Paterno never met on the sidelines, like opposite each other. So kind of fascinating that they were sort of running parallel to each other for all these years, and that's kind of extended into where it is. And you mentioned the 2020 COVID game, like it almost was like that game didn't happen, really. I mean, no fans in the stands, and it was just both programs were in weird spots at that time. So not that Penn State's super established at this point with an interim coach, but hopefully this is a game that we'll get to see a little bit more often, and that'll be competitive, and these will be two teams that'll be fighting for CFP bids moving forward, because certainly they both have the resources and the history to suggest that could be possible.
Yeah, these have been two programs in the Big Ten that haven't really ever met when they're on equal footing. I mean, maybe you can say the early 2010s when Nebraska first joined the conference, they were closer, but Penn State was reeling, like you said, from the Sandusky scandal. 2017, Nebraska was in turmoil, looking for a head coach at that point. 2020 was COVID. That was weird. Nebraska beats Penn State, part of the end of their losing skid before they turn it on late and set the stage for where they got to. And now this year, it's Nebraska at 7-3 and Penn State down at 4-6, but still a plenty talented Penn State team. Evan, do you think they've been, playing legitimately better football since James Franklin left? Are they playing to their talent level, or is this just kind of a Penn State team that's playing out the string right now?
Well, I think they're motivated to play for their interim coach, Terry Smith. And I mean, they carried him off the field last week when they got that win against Michigan State. So it's clear that they're still playing for something, and they're still looking for a bowl eligibility if they win out. I mean, they got to beat Nebraska to get to that point, and likely their reward is going to New York City for the pinstripe if it all happens. But that's part of it. And this is a roster certainly with a lot of former high-end prospects, but it's also one with players, many of whom chose to stay this year because they had designs on winning a championship. I mean, you just remember how close they were in the CFP semis last year, and I mean, you their star running backs, Katron Allen, Nicholas Singleton, those are guys who could have gone pro, decided to stay with Drew Aller and make another run at it. Obviously, Aller got hurt, but I think it's a prideful group. This isn't like a mid-tier Big Ten team that's just sort of falling short and playing things out. Like Penn State, they really felt like this was their year, and they were invested financially and emotionally in making a deep run. So I don't expect them to lay down at all. I do think the thing maybe that's turned with this team in the last couple of weeks is they've really leaned into being a running team. And maybe that coincides in part with, Drew Aller's injury and needing to do that a little bit more. But you look at the blueprint that they just laid out against Michigan State, where those two star backs combined for 40 carries, and they both do it a little bit differently. And that's the roadmap. Their receivers don't dazzle necessarily. It's the O-line, it's the big tight ends, it's the star punishing backs. And so I think and Nebraska's fully expecting that on the other side. So I think it's kind of has a throwback vibe, one where, one team's season isn't going as expected, certainly, but I don't think that you'll see that big a difference just in terms of how they play and the talent that Nebraska is going to go up against on Saturday night.
And John Butler was obviously asked a lot about that yesterday. What's your team's mentality against the run? What are you doing to try to slow it down and stop it? Evan, I don't think Nebraska's been necessarily scared to hit, scared of contact. It seems to me just like Nebraska's out of position, or Nebraska might not be physically talented enough consistently to get off the blocks that it needs to. What confidence do you have in Nebraska's ability to hold up against a Penn State rushing offense that it's really found itself, like you just said?
Yeah, I mean, there's some personnel limitations just in the sense that Nebraska doesn't have a lot of those big playmaking defensive linemen like they have had for years with Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker and Jamari Butler. They have some younger promising guys who I thought played some of their best football against UCLA. I mean, Keona Davis is coming along and Riley Van Poppel had a good game. You can kind of go down the list. So that part's going to be a struggle, but I do think Nebraska has the ability to really sell out to stop the run, in part because they think that's what Penn State's going to do, but also because the secondary has been a strength all year, and that's not necessarily Penn State's strength right now at the receiver position or with the quarterback. So what that can free Nebraska to do is play some man coverage on the back end, say, hey, Andrew Marshall and Sierra Wright and Deshaun Singleton, like you guys play some man on the back end and allow Nebraska to devote another man to the box and really go after it. Like, I think that's just kind of where they are. You're going to see bigger personnel. Maybe this is a more of a Dave Hofkin game. We've seen him in spurts at times. Kate Petschok, probably going to see more of him than we have in some other games this year. So I think it's helpful in the sense that you know how to prepare, like contrasting that with USC, for example, where they can pound it on the ground, but they can also run it with the quarterback, and they have star receivers. Like that was a team that could beat you in so many ways. I think Penn State's a little bit less versatile in that way, and so you're really going to see Nebraska say, okay, we're not going to be fooled, but are we going to be out physical? I think that's the challenge that they have, and certainly the scheme's going to set them up to see if they can prove it one way or the other.
We're talking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald here on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Evan, a lot's been made of that Nebraska defense against the Penn State rushing offense. Still a plenty talented Penn State defense as well. Maybe down Abdul Carter, still a lot of good pieces there. What's the challenge for the Nebraska offense against this Penn State defense in light of what you heard from Dana Holgorsen yesterday as well?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing, just really talented across the board. They're going to pressure. They're going to be aggressive. I think just because of where they are in their season, trying to win these last two and just what their record is, like they're not going to be afraid to take some chances and bring some blitzes from some more unpredictable places. And so, the big question, the big mystery is like, how well is TJ Lateef going to be able to operate against this kind of a defense? With UCLA, it was a defense that really was among the worst at pressuring quarterbacks at the FBS level. That's not the case with Penn State. And so how much will he run? How much does his mobile ability free up Emmett Johnson to do what he does? Even just the atmosphere, I think, is fascinating when you talk about what Lateef could do out there. I mean, this isn't 65 degrees in kind of the warm California environment. Like this is central Pennsylvania in mid-November. It's going to be colder. It's going to be louder and more hostile. The talent level on the other side is going to be different. So I think that part really sets up a fascinating battle. And, I think Nebraska has the edge with its receivers, but what's the protection look like? How are they able to maybe get open and operate in space? Like that's going to fall on Dana Holgorsen, I think, to scheme some things up in that way. So yeah, it's I think the challenge for Nebraska's offense these last couple of games are going to be pretty similar between Penn State and Iowa. Like they're two very fundamental defenses, physical. They're not going to give up a lot of big plays. You're going to have to beat them downfield and avoid turnovers. And again, it's going to be really fascinating to see what Lateef brings in his second career start in a much different environment.
this November for Nebraska, off to a 1-1 start so far, doesn't really feel like a Big Ten November. You go from the West Coast games, against USC and UCLA into a bye week, and then, oh wait, here comes Big Ten play again with Smash Mouth, Penn State, and Iowa. Much different November, this year, Evan, compared to the Northwestern, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa triumvirate that Nebraska's drawn at times in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they stepped out and played a Pac-12 schedule for 2 weeks, and now they're back in it to finish. I think the bye week came at a good time. I mean, they just played 6 games in a row. You're on the West Coast. That's going to take it out of you. So it does feel like physically they were able to reset. You're going to get Dasan McCullough back, Dawson Merritt, who's been a valuable rotational linebacker, back from injury as well. I mean, you heard from Luke Lindenmeyer, the tight end, saying, like, man, what a chance it was to refresh physically and mentally, just to get away for a day or two and reset. Now you've got a really condensed window here where you're playing Saturday night at Penn State. You get back and you got to get ready for Iowa on a Friday morning. So really short chance to recharge after that. So I think it came at a good time for them. And, I think they understand things get going really fast here. You got 2 games and then it's a bowl and the portal's going to open soon. You got signing day in a couple of weeks. So this was sort of that last chance to take a breath and recharge a bit before things speed up.
The previous chance Nebraska had to catch its breath would have been on Saturday, September 27th, the previous bye week for Nebraska. After that loss to Michigan, Evan, Nebraska comes out of the bye week with its hair on fire, gets out to that couple possession lead over Michigan State for the Spartans crawl back, take the lead, and Nebraska finishes with a flurry. How similar to that game script against Michigan State do you think Nebraska, can afford Saturday to be, or does it have to look different than it did coming out of the first bye?
Well, I mean, it's a different caliber of opponent. I think that plays part of it. Penn State's headspace is interesting to me. Like, had they lost to Michigan State last week and been out of the running for a bowl, like, I wonder how motivated they'd be. But now they got that taste of victory. They got off the schneid under their interim staff. And so how motivated are they on a Saturday night? I talked to a few folks in the Penn State area who were surprised that it was a night game, and it's coinciding with the start of their Thanksgiving break. And so their student section maybe won't be as full and robust as it would be for an October game or something like that. So I think those things factor into it a little bit. But I do think, Nebraska was motivated in its bye week to finish this thing strong. Like, they still know it's a pretty big swing between finishing 9-3 in the regular season and 7-5. And so I think those first team reps for Latif as the guy are incredibly valuable. I think, again, after 6 straight weeks, having the chance to reset before you go back out east is important. So, yeah, I mean, I think they were playing motivated, energetic football 2 weeks ago. I expect that to be the case now. And, it's kind of like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Michigan State game 2 years ago when they went out to East Lansing, and that was a team that had an interim coach and didn't have a ton to play for, and Nebraska laid an egg in that game. So I'll be curious to see kind of just what their headspace is, what their motivation is as they're trying to, as Matt Rule has said, sow seeds for the future and what this program can be into the offseason.
7-3 Nebraska on the road this weekend. Evan Bland and other members of the Omaha World Herald will be out there covering it. DP will be out there for us. Make sure you're here with us for pregame and postgame coverage as always. And then, of course, read about it, omaha.com. Evan Bland, thanks as always for your time. Safe travels out to Pennsylvania, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Austin. See ya.
Evan joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber. That's where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll go to break, bring Jay Foreman back in, wrap up hour 2 of Old School right after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No Shave November is raising awareness of men's health and prostate cancer. Limitless Male wants you to know low T is real. Low energy, brain fog, belly fat, low libido. Your T levels matter. They affect how you function. If you have symptoms, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through November 23rd, enjoy boneless ribeye roast. Choice for $19.99 per pound, prime for $29.99 per pound. Fresh ham loaf, $4.49 per pound. Bush Light 30 racks, $17.99 each when you buy two. And bakery fresh pies, $9.99 each when you also buy two. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Brown's Shoe Fit has a Black Friday deal so good it's available for 3 days. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit from November 28th through November 30th for 20% off everything store-wide. Brown's has all your favorite brands, plus Lincoln's largest selection of Uggs, which make the perfect Christmas gift. And speaking of stocking stuffers, buy 3 Smart Wool socks, get 1 free during the extended Black Friday sale from November 28th through November 30th at Brown's Shoe Fit, 66th and Q in Lincoln.
I can't believe I just scratched that card. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour 2 of Old School here on Ticket. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. This segment, as always, brought to you by the good folks at Love Volleyball Nebraska. Their season starts in January. You can learn more and become a Love Volleyball member today at lovb.com. Jay, it is White Boy Wednesday. Again, his favorite time of the week. Second favorite time of the week. Second shout out of the week to Cale Jacobson, right? We talked a little bit about Price Sanford on Monday, number 24 player on a per possession basis per Evan Miyakawa's numbers. But watching Nebraska-Oklahoma back as Nebraska prepares to go to Kansas City tomorrow and Friday, take on New Mexico, and then either Kansas State or Mississippi State, was really struck by just how in control of things Cale Jacobson was. His and one bucket was huge. Him not blowing the behind-the-back assist from Rink Mast was pretty darn cool. He was in late when Nebraska needed him to. Struggled from the free throw line early, knocked him down late, 6 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. A big shout-out to him. And a quick shout-out to my guy, John Shire, Chicago's very own. First time at Duke, he is 5-0. Blue Devils prevail over Kansas last night. Kansas cut it to 67-64. No Darren Peterson on the floor with a hamstring strain. That Duke team's gone sideways a couple times in the first 3 seasons in those moments. They lost to Kansas in the first Champions Classic. Shire was the head coach for. Lost a true road game to Arizona 2 years ago, or the home game to Arizona 2 years ago, and then lost to Kentucky in the Champions Classic last year. First time they moved to 5-0 wasn't necessarily pretty. Duke gets it done. Tip of my cap to White Boy John Shire.
Yeah, John Shire has been very impressive. He's tougher than what he looks like, too. Man, he's for real, like Chicago, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like
the Patrick Beverly stories about him.
Yeah, he's no punk. Yeah. And he brings an element of toughness that the exterior doesn't. You don't assume that he's a tough-minded dude, and he's got a great team, good young nucleus. He's got my man Slim Reaper down there. Got my man Evans representing Southeast Charlotte.
Who might have hit the biggest shot of the game? That like 3-pointer from the corner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so look, they're on the way to get that team of young athletes, or very, very young team, get them, kind of to mature and mix together. And, we'll see what this could be the year.
Have I told you my Duke conspiracy theory for why they're winning the title this year? I don't always talk myself into Duke winning the title, by the way. You know that. Okay, so the previous 5 teams that have beat Mount St. Mary's in the NCAA tournament, not that year, but the next year,
they won it.
They go on to win the title. This year's Final Four, Indy, been very kind to the Duke Blue Devils before.
Are you going?
And John Shire has improved where Duke has finished every year.
Every year. Yeah, there's only one other step.
Only one way you can go.
This would be great.
Only
for
one
him.
way you can go.
I like him.
I'm just saying.
I like they took a shot on him. Wish him all the best.
Worked out better for Duke than it has for Carolina so far.
I know.
Worked out better for Duke than it did for Villanova so far.
Yeah.
So, shout out Cale Jacobson. Shout out John.
Yeah, Cale Jacobson's done a really good job. He was a prolific scorer, Class B, and then obviously just worked his way up.
Were they B or are they C1?
I don't know what.
I think it would have been C1.
It was C1. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I mean, playing some major Class B teams.
Yeah,
as well,
and he was really good in the summer circuit, and how it is. A kid from Nebraska, they don't ever think he could play. He goes and proves them all wrong. So big shout out to him, man. He's a good kid too.
Mm-hmm.
Really good kid. Good. It's a good for local kids to see another local kid play. Not only him, obviously Sam. I think you got Justin Frager, Bolus, who's a really phenomenal kid. They're all great kids too. Mm-hmm. And to see those guys get, that Nebraska give them a shot, but then also when they do earn it, they get to play.
That they do. Whiteboard Wednesday comes your way next, breaking down some Penn State film. You won't want to miss it. Get to the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Allo Channel 961. Jay Foreman tells you what you need to know about Penn State to lead off hour 3 of Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Brown's Shoe Fit has a Black Friday deal so good it's available for 3 days. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit from November 28th through November 30th for 20% off everything store-wide. Brown's has all your favorite brands plus Lincoln's largest selection of Uggs, which make the perfect Christmas gift. And speaking of stocking stuffers, buy 3 Smart Wool socks, get 1 free during the extended Black Friday sale from November 28th through November 30th at Brown's Shoe Fit, 66th and Q in Lincoln.
If you are a business owner, I want you to think about the amount of time you've spent worrying about safety and security. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies design custom solutions for security, communication, and so much more. From automated security to secure video conferencing, their team sits down with you to get to know you and what your business needs. Manage your operations and get notified when there is suspicious activity. Save time and cut back on stress. Diode Tech always keeps you in the know. Contact them today at 402-793-5124.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, 5 o'clock hour. Old School is brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Laundromat / Old Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. And, of course, it's Wednesday. It's Black Shirt Breakdown, Whiteboard Wednesday. Got Penn State coming up. It's a big game for both teams, obviously. Nebraska wants to, get 8 wins, and Penn State wants to stay, bowl eligible, obviously, with whoever's going to be their coach, and, moving forward. And it's a great opportunity. It's on prime time. It does throw a monkey wrench in Nebraska's, kind of losing, a day or two in prep and the travel. But you know what? That's what you got to do big boy things for. So right here, obviously it's going to come. I think it's going to be whatever defense plays better against the opposite opponent's offense. Now, obviously, I think we have the advantage in special teams, but I think you're going to have to get some stops against these dudes, in order to beat them, because they're playing better now. They're not perfect by any means. They do have some talented players, but they are not as talented as the preseason number one rankings would expect you to be. Now they have everything that is up to snuff. They'll be a little bit tough here as far as what they'll do. Now this is against Indiana, and the thing about this is, so Indiana, even though you hear about Mendoza, they're one of the better running teams in the nation. Penn State, with all the athletes and the size and the defense from last year with Jim Knowles and everything, has struggled or hasn't played, in my opinion, really that well against the run as they should. Now, some of it may be circumstances. I also think Jim Knowles, in my opinion, good coordinator. What he does, he likes to do. He's a gambler. A lot of run blitzes, and if they're on, then they're going to have, potentially, back in Oklahoma State, you could have 6, 7, 8 double-digit tackles for losses. But if you don't, you'll get gashed. And when you go against the smart guys like Northwestern and their offensive line, they caught on to it, and they started to slowly but surely wear them down. So what they're in here, the reason why I did this right here, Austin, this is an old school bubble look. So a bubble defense it started with Florida State when they made their run, and when they had one essentially big linebacker, 2 small linebackers. What it does is you have 4 defensive linemen. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. You bring a linebacker up here, and you play essentially a defensive tackle, but you're a yard or 2 off the line of scrimmage. So a bubble. So it creates 5 one-on-ones. It's not a fun position for a linebacker. I know. And you like it when you have a favorable matchup with your linebacker here against their running back, right? So what Indiana is going to do, as we see in the next one, they'll go to motion to see if you're in man or zone. So they'll make the safeties rock and roll, right? So the safeties, and then they'll try to run it to this boundary here. So I got to get this thing going. So they'll go to the boundary. This is the next one. So this is just really how it starts, right? Man-to-man defense. The bubble defense is huge, just because you bring this up to throw off the offensive line's count, right? So you essentially, and this lets you know where Nebraska can really make hay based on number 0. I think they can take advantage of him because he takes a lot of gambles. It worked out here. It's earlier in the game, but you see this all game. But as he craps out or misses, the yards per carry for the team Indiana starts to go back up, right? So in the next series or the next picture here, you see the motion. You see the safeties rocked and roll, right? This safety right here was here. He rocked and roll, right? He's the middle safety. So now he's playing from depth right here. It's man-to-man. No fair dodging, right? You got locked in right here on the tight end, locked in on the running back, bubble defender, and against the pass, he'd be the whole defender. But it's man-to-man with one free safety right here, right? So this is straight up basketball.
What you got?
Yeah, what you got. So what Indiana does, they decide, since they know it's man, they think they have, and they actually do have, the numbers advantage to the boundary, which a lot of teams like running to the short side, right? Because when you look at it, there is no forced player on the line of scrimmage outside the tight end, the defensive, right? So you like your matchup, right? Based on the bubble defense, you can pin down and pull, and you can backside pull as well. Block back with the center, right, against this guy here, and pull the center and pull the on lineman or play side lineman.
Because they're already then
right
with a step on that guy to get that outside angle,
and
big
then
on
you just
living.
run the outside zone right up the alley, right? Well, look what happens here. We'll get it here. So they pull them. See the 2 pullers right there, right? So it's either you're uncovered or your lineman mate has an angle on them, so you're pulling them. They do have it, right? Look, you got a base block right here. If I'm Indiana, who has a really good blocking tight end, that's a win, right? Stalemate. You got essentially your first guy. He's probably looking for first color. That would be this defender here. This guy right here makes a mistake because number 0, he likes to backdoor everything. He likes to shoot downhill. It's feast or famine with him. He's up here. You can't see him. He misses him and actually reacts to him too late, right? Or else this thing was going up the sideline right here. And this is a run play they'll run against Nebraska here. I wanted to show you the bubble front, so just so you can see it. Okay, Penn State went to this, right? If Emmett starts to when Emmett starts to really start rolling, they'll go to this bubble front, right? So essentially, number 0. I used to hate this thing here too. So number 0 right here. Wait, I gotta go back then, right?
I think it's a very nice red line there.
Okay. So number 0, I don't know what happened. He's got this gap. He's head up inside right here. Late force. There's one back, one gap right here, right? He's here. He's here. He's essentially would be here. But when you pull, right, you can pin down here. You can pull. You could do whatever you want. You could pull onside guard. You could do whatever you want as long as if your center's really good, you feel like you can get him. If not, you can see where it goes. But this bubble defense right here by number 0, he has to make the play. And I've been in there where you get 300-pound guys. You gotta sit in there pretty tight, and it's not fun. It affected my draft status, actually, supposedly, right? Because they said they had too many plays where I was playing a defensive lineman, but they do run it in the league. So, right, you got the guy out here pulling, right? You see this block right here, right? 33 is a dude.
That's Dennis Sutton, right?
He's for real. Plays a little high, but when he's on, he shows up every game. But right here, they feel like they're going to try to run this alley right here. This is where they're going to try to get with Nebraska, right? So if you have Singleton here or Guthrie or anybody else, you know what I'm saying? If we're in man-to-man, this is what we have. So essentially what really should have been happening, when you see this guy pull, he needs to be here by the letter of the law, right? He kind of plays coy in what's called backdoor, which puts more stress on him if number 0 doesn't make this play, which he does.
So what 0's supposed to do is what you're saying. He's supposed to get upfield, get to that left shoulder, but he's going to let the lineman overrun him essentially and go right off his butt.
Yeah, what you do is with this is you want to get to where you're going up, not to his left shoulder. You want to go strike up through him.
Ah, gotcha.
Oh, I'm killing it today.
Might have been an update behind the scenes. All good.
You want to strike up through him and make him burp.
Gotcha.
He goes back door. See if we can get to a clearer one. Okay, he goes back door. There it is. It's a perfect picture right here. So he goes back door and actually runs into number 54. You see his right arm right here? That's essentially a shot in the dark. You see the reaction because you don't expect him to go back door. He was lined up right here. He shot in there like a defensive stunt, ran into his guy and tackled him. And look at this where he would have had a two-way go.
Oh, yeah.
You know where Indiana got this play? Northwestern, as we saw when we were going to play Northwestern. Northwestern did it, but did it differently. The first Northwestern play, they just came in with the offset eye, with the overload, said, this is where we're coming. It's the same thing, right? So they know this is a play that Nebraska maybe could be going to because, look, you got a hat on hat here. You got a guy here. Then if 0 doesn't make it, it's one-on-one with number 3. So this is a run play that Nebraska could go to, could have some success. You just got to be wary of number 0 going backdoor and trying to make the play. It's feast or famine with him. If you get he's not very big, you just get a hand or a chuck on him, you'll knock him off, and then Emmett will be able to do his thing.
Kind of like bumping a cutter in basketball.
That's it. Just get him off. Just hard hedge him or whatever you can. It's probably something that Kirk Cignetti is talking to his offensive lineman, but it was a kind of a.
But he's not supposed to expect that.
No, but
I mean, even if you see,
but you got to know your
that's
opponent.
Tough.
You got a little linebacker. He's not going to try to meet you in the hole. You don't have to pull out there so quickly. You got to just pull, and then he'll run into you. So that's where he comes. But anyways, as a tackle for loss from them, look for what they're trying to do because we look at this Austin right here and everybody that's on the stream. Okay, just look at how many Penn State defenders on this side versus this side. If he can get to right here.
Yeah.
There's 2 defenders, or actually 3. If the running back gets to here, which is the alley, it's 3-on-2. And then it's his job to make him miss coming from 5, 10, 15, 19 yards deep.
Woo.
You got it. That's why you're getting NIL money. And I think that's Roman Hemby. I like Hemby's chances. So look for that play for Nebraska or something like it to attack Penn State when they get in that bubble front. Because also it makes it easier for Nebraska to go on silent count or really just go into inside-outside zone because they're lined up right there. They don't run a lot of bubble front. When we ran bubble front, we ran all different types of stunts and blitzes out of it, right? They're just very basic. They get into the bubble front to try to stop the run, try to really bat down the edges and make a play and send everything actually to the defensive end. Or defensive ends. That's why they want number 0 in there to take up another guard. So
gotcha.
That's what they're trying to do. That's what they accomplished. Number 0 made the play, even though I would call it somewhat luck because when you go backdoor like that, if you shoot your shot, you better make it.
Calculated risk?
I think that's more of a habit for him if when you watch the game. But you got to be on his habit because once he gets a little bit, once you can get your hands on him and get more physical with him, then he doesn't shoot it as quick, but he still does it. And so you can get some big yards. And a lot of the big runs have been a byproduct of right here. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on one side of the ball. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to count the quarterback. Right. So you're blocking yourself. So Nebraska's got to take advantage of that offensively, but look what Penn State will try to do defensively. Now, overall defensively, 33 is a dude. I think overall the defensive backs are pretty good, even their nickel. I think it's 6 or 7 or 6 and 7.
Hey, now.
Oh, I know. Right.
Hey, come on.
I fell into
we
that.
made it this far.
Yeah, I'm not a millennial. I don't do that. But defensive line is good. They're sturdy in there a little bit, but they can be had. Linebackers are okay. So there's plenty of opportunity there for Nebraska. Now, let's get to Nebraska's defense. What they're going to expect. I'm going to tell you what, they are not a very good passing team. They got a couple good receivers this year. Not a very good passing team.
So they got the transfer Pena from Syracuse.
Yeah, big offensive line. Play extremely high. They like to maul, and where they really started to run the ball against Michigan State is when they went 11 or 12 personnel and didn't go wing or anything like that. They essentially ran inside outside zone and let Singleton or whoever just make something out of it. And that's where they it really was 3. There wasn't a lot of big runs. It was like 4 yards here, 8, 2, kind of all added up right here. So this is their formation here. Actually, this is how their big throw. So what they run here against cover 2 is a double switch route. So what they do is, and which is really, really smart, and I've been a victim of my man right here, but it did, okay? And let's see, Tony Gonzalez got me once. Actually, it was cover 3, but I should have played like cover 2, so I'll take the blame for it. But what they do, they run a double switch route to put the stressor on the 2 linebackers in cover 2. It's actually pretty cool what they do. I don't
begrudging respect.
Yeah. I shouldn't get this excited about offense doing anything, but it is. So what a switch route is, the guy on the ball or run out here, this guy has a running start up on the middle runner. Okay. This guy will delay, go to the flat. This guy right here will eat up the safety, which then he can't help on the post route, which ends up being a touchdown because number 5 right here, okay, can go. And so he comes up on the seam on the middle runner where you had it, and then he cuts across right here. He has no help by the backside safety. That's exactly what happened to me against Dallas Clark. And yes, he's still the fastest white guy I ever went against in my life. I didn't play against I did not play against Jordy Nelson, but I'll put my money on Dallas Clark, even though he's from Iowa.
Well, Jordy was a receiver, so he better be a little faster.
So look at this right here. So there's this double switch route, right? It's actually pretty cool against cover 2. So this is kind of as the play's going. So what they did was they kind of confused this linebacker right here, and he's reading probably him and him right here. And look how deep this cover 2 safety is because he's playing top down. You got the middle runner, a good job by the middle linebacker, really good coverage. But you'd like to have your other safety right here, right? Playing top down. This guy's playing hook. This is actually what we used to call super cover 2. Okay, if you're on the boundary and they run a switch route, or it's cover 3 and you're to the boundary, you're the hook dropper. You actually have to be a middle runner. You got to take number 2 up the seam. And here's what they did. They messed up the count, and this is where they get tricky. Here's their other tight end, number 16. I think this is 87 or 85, eating up this safety's eyes, right? No jam, no nothing. This defensive end is in the flat, covering nobody, right? So you got 2 guys covering 1 guy. He ain't even left the line of scrimmage. This is exactly what you want for a young quarterback. And this is also a route that they ran in the second quarter that number 5 was open and they missed, so they went right back to it. So when I talk about post snap and you talk about adjustments, even though you get off the field, you better make an adjustment. Know it's coming back to you. And so this is number 5 on their linebacker right here, who really does a really good job, in my point. But look, both of them have got vertical. This safety can't come off of it, right? And so he's going to run this post, and you're going to strike up the band here pretty soon. And you'll see the result, and you see the ball in there. Now look how much separation he got, right? Because
he's on the logo at midfield.
Yeah, he's on the logo at midfield. The linebacker, dropped him, which I don't necessarily agree with, right? Once you start running with him, because he must have got a call, or sometimes it's a China call from the outside line or outside corner to drop him. Then he's expecting this end cut. He's coming outside here, right? Look at the safety. Really good play design, touchdown, balls in the air, 7 points.
Yeah, that's a really tough angle for that backside safety to go try to contest that pass. So then he's already playing catch up from the get-go. You can go try to break it up, doesn't get there, and then nothing you can do.
How do you offset that? You got to reroute, okay? You got to be excellent in your communication, and you got to know formations, and you got to understand what your responsibility is and not just your job. Your job is, okay, I'm the hook dropper while number 2 is going up the chute. This is why I say team defense. The guys that play team defenses are the best, right? Just imagine if you just took just a little bit of the initiative and carried this guy, right? There is no check down threat. Look at this defensive end or outside linebacker there. He can make that play. Okay.
He's doing a great job pulling down that grass right now.
So it allows this safety to play even deeper at the 50. I like his break on the ball to potentially break up the receiver or break up or get a touch or get an interception.
Well, at the very least, that's a much tougher pass. I mean, a young quarterback might be spooked by seeing 3 guys with at least some level of awareness of that receiver.
Right. But once he saw that linebacker on him, he knew exactly where he was going because he saw the backside linebacker covering grass. That's the worst thing you can do against a deep play action pass. You know exactly what there's no RPO threat this week. Okay.
It is an
Nico,
R or AP, not an RPO.
It's not Nico or anybody like that, so you don't have to really worry about quarterback run game. So that's what you expect if Nebraska jumps into some cover 2, or if they play cover 4, they're going to try to manipulate the safeties and try to get that deep post in there and try to go bang or bust. That's what they're doing. They either throw it real short, like a little smoke screen, a little quick tight end delay. They'll do like a extended screen where they'll flare out the tight end to block the outside backer or the slot, defender, and get it to Singleton, and that's it. Very, very basic passing game, and then they try to go deep. And where are they? They're backed up here. They're just trying to bang or boom or bust, and they boomed it right there in the play before, or the scoring drive before, which also is interesting. He bypassed number 5. He hit this guy here. So that's probably what led the linebacker to come off of that, because that was a big, big pass play down in their red zone, which led to Singleton getting his first touchdown earlier in the game. So we got to be prepared for that. They're going to come back to the same plays. It's not a big playbook. You just got to go out there and beat these guys at their game. So this is their basic run play. This is essentially 12-13 plunge, 14-15 plunge. This is inside outside zone team. This is inside zone. Right, and this is actually a good look into, right, the tight end. It's 12 personnel. The tight end started over, let me get this right here. Started over here. He's going to go zigzag motion. I'll do that back and forth right up here so it doesn't get a lot of it. And they're just trying to see if you're in man or zone, right? And you see the safety moving. So he's rocking and rolling, right? They'll talk, right? These 2 safeties will handle this guy here. So that's all they're trying to do by movement. And then what do? They get you to move, or wherever they motion to, they're running right or to the opposite of it. And it holds true with them because, again, the new quarterback basic playbook. They want to get to where they're doing the basics right, and they feel like they're talented enough they can beat teams like that, which they're able to do on the road at Michigan State. It wasn't an impressive victory, but it was a victory. That's all that matters. We'll get to this right here. You see where this is actually where he started. Sorry about that. Austin, I just messed up. So he started here, motioned here,
across,
come back, and then he blocks here. So we'll move on to the next right here. And this is essentially inside-outside zone. So what they do is he starts over there. He ends up blocking here, right? Instead of lining up there, he comes over there, gets a running start. Good job by Michigan State keeping their pad square here. Good job by the linebackers not running up in there and getting hit.
I mean, it's at the point of the handoff right now. They're at the mesh point, and that's a stalemate across the board,
right? And that's
which is a win for Michigan State.
Right. So it gives you a deeper dive into Penn State's offensive line. More importantly, look at the pad level. Granted, they're in all white, right? But you can tell Michigan State's pads are lower. So that's what Nebraska has to do. It comes down to fundamentals and execution, right? So this is about, I think this is 14, 15 plunge, maybe 13, 12, 13 plunge inside, outside zone. Nothing spectacular here. And I want you to look right here. This is it right here. Right? So it's one back, one gap, right? It's man-to-man defense. You got a defensive tackle here. Okay. If it comes play side to the left, okay, he's here. Okay. He's here. He's there. He's going to come in here. He's going to come in here, and they have a safety here, hard edging it, right?
That other guy on the end of the line, then, is he going to the outside shoulder to try to condense in
right
on
here?
the defense's left?
He's going to probably play head up, two gap it, maybe the inside. You have an alley filler right here by the free safety based on what they were doing. So it's pretty easy right here. And then this is the result right here. So one thing I like about it when you talk about that defensive end, he's not waiting. He's going to hit it. Okay, so he's condensing the formation, right? A little bit of a chip block. He's going to come out here. There's your edge setter. He has to get in here. Linebackers are square. Five's coming up and meeting him. Just creating a pile. You just want to create a wall right here for a running back like that where nobody can go. You don't play on edges against these guys because when you play against an offensive line that just wants to come out and engulf and maul you and you turn your shoulders, you will just get washed down. And in the gap that I would have as a linebacker just made it impossible for me to really make a tight tackle because it's going to be actually two gaps. Right. And essentially, that's where the name two gap comes from because when you play with square pads, you're able to play two gaps. Real simple. As defensive players like things simple. So that's where
run, hit.
Michigan State did a really good job right here. And for the most part, obviously, I know they gave up over 100. They did a pretty good job physically, obviously standing up to Michigan State with a young defensive line. Also for you Husker fans, there's a Raekwon Buckley right there, number 88.
Woo!
3 technique, trying to do his thing. But Michigan State, they seemed like they went to more depth on their defensive line. They rotated guys. They played a 4-man front, and they held up pretty good against the run. So this is what Nebraska has to do. Look at it, all the square pads, but look at the high hats here. I could get this back.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really obvious to tell
Right.
that Penn State, not a lot of bend in those knees.
Right. But look, Michigan State's winning the leverage here. Michigan State's winning the leverage here with their nose guard. Probably a stalemate on height with Buckley. Look at number 5 here. You can see that right there. He's winning his leverage right there. So you got to play with good technique against this. There's not going to be anything fun or like any trickery going on. And this is the last play here, Austin, or last slide right here. This is a good shot right here. Look at this guy right here. This is a mammoth of a man, number 71. He went viral after Ohio State when he picked up that like equipment thing. That's him. Look at 13 right here, jacking him up. Right? This is how you win right here. Look at this pad level. Both of these guys. Pad level, square pads. Look at this number 5 against a tackle, against number 72, who's actually pretty decent, right? Pad level, shock and release. Look at the defensive end. Already came out of his hips, blew him up. That's how you play against this Penn State run defense. And then you got your free hitter in there just to clean up, man. right? And then look at little pipsqueak DB. He's trying to get in there and get busy. Look at him.
He's at least fighting.
Hey, look. But let me tell you about them DBs. They get them arms out there.
Stay away.
Yeah. They try to. Yeah, they got Instagram pictures to take at the end of the game or in between quarters. And so good. That's what Nebraska has to do, and that's what Penn State does. Their big run game is inside outside zone. That's where they ran it the best. They tried to do pull a little bit inside counter. Their linemen don't run very well. They're not like USC's linemen where they're able to get up on you, athletic. These guys are just straight up maulers and trying to just lean on you all game. So you got to hang in there and you got to be physical and violent. So Nebraska does those two things on defense, right? Communicate and then be physical and violent. They'll be fine. Offensively, obviously, you just got to find out where number 0 is and allow him to run himself out of the play. And Emmett have a big day at the office.
Jay, I think people are enjoying this football 101 in general. Colgan Jay has a bunch of questions here about how you diagnose what a defense is, what you call it. Talk about that when we get back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anyways, appreciate you guys listening. Cullen and Jay, I'll get in there, get into my little. I need to get me a little. What does a scientist have? He have a thing on his head?
Oh yeah. What we need is one of those really long sticks. Like give you like a yardstick. You just tap the whiteboard or something.
Oh yeah. We'll get
laser
pointer.
pointer.
Get it going. We'll put one in there in the podcast studio, and then we'll set up some cameras. But Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, old school. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
If you're a business owner, I want you to think about the amount of time you've spent worrying about safety and security. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies design custom solutions for security, communication, and so much more. From automated security to secure video conferencing, their team sits down with you to get to know you and what your business needs. Manage your operations and get notified when there is suspicious activity. Save time and cut back on stress. Diode Tech always keeps you in the know. Contact them today at 402-793-5124.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
It's No Shave November at Limitless Male. Let the beard grow and lose weight. If extra weight is holding you back from activities, the men's health experts at Limitless Male can help. It's no fun being left out because your weight is holding you back. GLP-1s from Limitless Male will help you drop the weight fast, and you won't be hungry. When you feel good and look good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
Acreage owner getting ready for winter? Make it easy with John Deere compact tractors and gators from Acres Equipment. Add snow blowers, front blades, cabs, heaters, and loaders to tackle every chore. Right now, in-stock units are priced to move with competitive financing to fit your budget. Get winter ready today at acres.com. Acres Equipment, your acreage handled. Financing subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial. Not all customers qualify. See dealer for details.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Brown's Shoe Fit has a Black Friday deal so good it's available for 3 days.
Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit from November 28th through November 30th for 20% off everything store-wide. Brown's has all your favorite brands, plus Lincoln's largest selection of Uggs, which make the perfect Christmas gift. And speaking of stocking stuffers, buy 3 Smart Wool socks, get 1 free during the extended Black Friday sale from November 28th through November 30th at Brown's Shoe Fit, 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Fight fans, Dynasty Combat Sports returns to the Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday, November 21st for a massive night of cage fighting action. UFC veteran Derek Minner headlines as he faces Missouri's Jacob Ritchie. In the co-main event, Lincoln's Nate Morrow battles Ashton Caniglia, with Sean Lindgren and Jeremy Small throwing down in the featured pro bout. Local prospects Easton Edmund Boudin and Andrew Huffman lead the amateur side. 16 total fights are set for another electric night in the cage. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com or the arena box office. Fight card subject to change.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, old school, second segment of Whiteboard Wednesday. I gotta find the text here, or you can read them to me, Austin.
Yeah, no, I got it pulled up right here. Colgan Jay, when you look at a defense, how do you tell what they're in? Essentially, I'm not a gamer, don't pay enough attention on defense to really know how to determine what a defense is in.
Well, number one, the offense determines what they try to determine what defense you're in based on movement, and if you're running. So the tight end right here, for example, when he moves, this guy is moving back and forth to dictate and try to see where the defense is going to shift. If guys are pointing and knowing that they got the safety, because originally this guy had him, so once he went over, this safety took him, they know most chances they're in man-to-man. Now, I will tell you, when I played for Nebraska, we rock and rolled our safeties, but if we were playing zone, we still move. Mm-hmm. So you had to learn, you had to know a lot, everything. Coverage-wise, that's how you can tell. You can tell by safety depth, but they do a really good job all across the country of disguising it. I've seen coordinators run cover 2 with the corner going back and taking a half and kind of overloading with safeties, and the original backside safety ends up being the play side safety. So you can kind of dice it up, but you got to have guys invested that know how to do it. Because if you have one guy that's not on, they're striking up the band literally. Now, as far as the front goes,
even before you get that, we'll work back up here. Cover 1 is going to be one safety in the middle of the field for the most part.
For the most part,
cover 3 is going to be
cover 0. Okay, is like essentially 0 safeties. That's just man on man, and you're probably blitzing, right?
Get home or else,
i.e.
the Greg Williams special.
Yeah, Spike 40, especially when he be mad. Knowing dang well we weren't getting that day quarterback. Cover 1 is like basketball. Is man to man. You usually either have a hole defender and definitely a deep, safety.
Essentially, a guy in the midline.
Guy in the middle. Cover 2 is essentially 2 safeties or 2 defenders splitting up half the field, right? And so you're rushing 4, dropping 5. Right, you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Actually, cover 2 is actually another version of cover 3 if you have a vertical, because the middle linebacker will be running with the middle runner like we saw. So cover 2 is actually, and it can get to cover 3. Then there is cover 3. It's essentially
the Gus Bradley Seahawks Legion
right.
of Boom,
and you can play it from press. You can play it from off. You can do press bail. You just got to be excellent in every one of these defenses, right? And you got to have really, I think when you're running cover 4, cover 3, I think you're in cover 2. I think your underneath defenders make it go. You have to be a team player. The safeties are in a vulnerable position against 4 verts or against 2 verts or switch routes or something like that gets a vertical, because they're reading number 2, and here comes number 1 screaming down the pipe at them. But if you are able to reroute guys and communicate, then your defense can be very effective because playing those deep coverages, cover 2, sometimes cover 4, allows your pass rushers to get there. But if you're just letting guys run free, you're just patting but you're just pretty much defense on air.
Is then nickel would be 5 DBs, dime would be 6 DBs.
Yeah. Then
base would be 4 DBs.
Yes, 4-3. If you're running 3-4,
3-4 either way,
whatever.
4 DBs, yeah.
Or you do 3-3-5. You know, it's all the same. I mean, it's based on your personnel, based on what the defense can handle. You want to confuse the offensive line with their count. You don't want them to know where you're coming from. And then there's cover 6. Cover 6 is a I like that coverage. It's cover 2 on one side, cover 4 on the other. Now, based on the motion, you could be on the cover 2 side, then you could be on the cover 4, and you got to be able to communicate and you got to be able to execute, right? Then there's cover 8, which is we played really well at Houston at times. It's a more of aggressive kind of a matchup zone. I prefer that if you have your second and third level together and your pass rush is good. We ran a little bit of cover 9. Which
goes to cover 9?
Yeah, we went to cover 9. It's a version of cover 3 or cover 2, excuse me. We ran cover, and depends on how you like it. If you're on the one man or one receiver side and cover 2, it actually kind of you play inside man and you're essentially on an island, but everybody else is playing cover 2. You got soft safety help over the top, but we are overloading the zone. You ran fire zone, that's blitzing and having a defensive line drop, just kind of confusing that's how I scored an interception against Colorado.
Who were some of the good fire zone defensive linemen that you played with? Guys that could handle being out in the flat.
All of them. I mean, in college, all our guys could do it. Defensive tackles as well. Jason Peter and Grant, they act like they could cover people, but they did a good job. Jeff Elgard got his hand on that ball, was able to get an interception against Colorado, scored, and it was another fire zone when I had the one-handed catch against Oklahoma. So, I mean, it works. We got it from the Steelers and the Panthers, Dom Capers and all that, and Bill Cowher and all that. And then
did you know you were running the Dom Capers stuff at Nebraska and then you got to actually play for Dom?
I knew, well, it was some from Buffalo Bills too. Buffalo Bills as well. But it wasn't called that. We ran Panther strong and Steeler weak. Now all those guys, Dom was at the Pittsburgh and he went down there. So Kevin Steele was there. George Darlington used to go around and kind of, watch stuff. But when I got to the pros and we put that in, I was like, oh, I did this already. Like I made like quite a few plays in a preseason to probably help me make a team, early because I knew the defense is like what it made it work.
Yeah, not just what to go.
While these dudes that never ran it before in college, I'd ran it a million times, and they were just stuck on stupid. I was just out there just,
I got this.
Right. So it was
NFL things easy. Quote,
it was
Jay
great
Foreman.
to have a great staff like that kind of pushed us mentally, but also everybody was invested when we got here. Now you see a lot of teams that play nickel. I think Penn State plays a lot of nickel. Their linebackers are just all nickel defenders. Not a lot of size, but so you see some teams that play 3-4. I played in the 3-4 where I played a base 3-4, which is just line up 0 and 2-5 techniques, and you got to you eat what you kill, right? You got 330-pound linemen come on you got to defeat them and you got to make a play. But I played in the 3-4 for Dom Capers. Now when I got there, I thought I knew, and Vic Fangio was there, and this is early Vic where he would come. Vic Fangio, say if our regular playbook was 200 pages, right? Just say everything, all the do's and don'ts and all that. 200 pages. Just say it's 200 pages. It was bigger than that. Vic Fangio would have 50 new pages every game.
Whew. Now
I will tell you this: the first 2 years, so I was in Buffalo for 4. First 2 years in Houston, when we were healthy and we had the right guys there. If we didn't get 50 new pages, we were mad. I mean, we could do whatever we wanted. We weren't winning a lot of games. We won 7 games or 8 games the next year, or the second year. We were doing well. The injury bug hurt us, including myself, but we were able to do it because we had that continuity there. We knew each other. We had Seth Payne, who was a really good nose, Gary Walker, who was a Pro Bowl DN,
Pro Bowl pain in the butt too.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He still is too. Jerry DeLoach, right, is a great DN in the 3-4 big guys. So we went 300 pounds across it. Me and Jamie Sharper doing our things and tackling. He was a really good blitzer. I did decent in coverage. And then we were bringing the blitz on the outside. We were blitzing. So it can work. But then we ran 4-3 fronts. So they thought we were running 3-4. We were running 4-3 fronts. And we'd switch it up based on who we were playing. So when we played Pittsburgh against Jerome Bettis, there was this tip Jamie gave me that when against Jerome Bettis, he would never cut back when the fullback motion. I still remember this to this day because I was like, this dude's big. I mean, Jerome Bettis is a big dude.
The bus.
Like he was at the time, he said he was 250. He was 275. So, but when the fullback went from offset to the left to the right, kind of like, just motioned over, he's like, Jay, he's like, once he gets past the center, he's like, I've been playing against this dude for 4 years. He's like, you just go. And he's like, I got your back. I think the first 2 plays I had tackles for losses. I was like, yeah, well, thank you. I got a nice little, my check looked a little different because I got a little, got a little bonus. Plus, I had to take Jamie out to dinner. I lost a little bit, but so we did. So, but then when we play Tennessee or something, which Eddie George inside outside run or in against against the Colts, we just had to play like what we used to call Okie defense, which is just basic.
So for Colgan Jay's question, then, what are you looking at to determine some of this stuff? Like if you're at home watching on TV, is it as simple as KYP, know your personnel, and that can kind of give you an idea? Or is there any like formational stuff if you're looking at a defense trying to learn it that, this is at least the personnel?
Obviously, you look, a lot of it, they match up. That's why you see the subs where the offense come in. So offense,
and then the defense gets the chance.
Gets a chance. So majority, I just look at the defensive line. I mean, obviously, you look and you see 4 guys with their hand in the dirt. That's a 4-man front. So it's some sort of 4-3 or nickel, which is 4-2, 5, and then whether it's man to man, you can tell by the depth of the safeties or what the corners are doing. These corners these days, they don't really show press, play zone. They let you know exactly what they're playing.
They'll start.
Right. The really good defenses can disguise coverages between man defense zone or matchup zone, or like if you're doing a mix or combo coverages. Now, whether they're in like a 3-4, 4-3, that's just kind of like studying who the coordinators are and what they put out the thing on Nebraska's a 3-3-5 or whatever, like Michigan State's 4-3.
But even like Nebraska in its 3-3-5 will sometimes have 5 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Right. So 5 guys on the line of scrimmage like we did against Michigan, that's a bear front. That's that old Chicago Bears 46 defense. So you have 3 defensive linemen and 2 outside guys. And so that's 5. And then you got your 2 backers. And, then so there's your 7
Take your
guys.
nickel off the field.
And then you can bring a safety down. And essentially, you're in a 5-3 look, and then you got to be excellent out there on the corners. And then you got to make hay against the run. So somebody's got to win. So you use bear fronts against 13 personnel, 22 personnel. I've seen a lot more teams, have 5 guys, even including Ohio State against Minnesota when we did the black shirt breakdown. Against, heavy run teams. Minnesota had a lot of 13 personnel, so they're trying to get to the corner. They had the inverted wing and all that stuff. So if you have guys like Ohio State has in number 97 and 92 that are defensive ends by body type, but athletically they can play linebacker, you shut that down real quick, right? And then when you got number 8, 0, and all those guys, you can really just kind of.
Oh, and number 2.
And number 2,
good.
And number 10, and all, they got everybody. So it just kind of depends. I never played in a defense where we played a lot of bear front. So I mean, I like that. I mean, that'd be. Oof.
Is that just kind of a break glass in case of emergency? Really got to have a stop against the run here for most teams.
A little bit, actually, we played a little bit of bear front. We didn't call it bear front in Buffalo. We had we used to call it the special package. So we'd have. This is funny when we used to bring these dudes in there. It was like you're getting 0 yards. So we had Ted Washington, who was 6'5". I'll do Ted a favor, 360, 365, right? Had my man Pat Williams, I just call him Project Pat, who was like 6'2", 335. It might have been one of the fastest defensive linemen in the league, right? Then we had Phil Hansen, who was like 280, 85, but a technician, and then Bruce Smith. And then we would have an outside linebacker, which was probably Sam Rogers. And then the inside guys, we would line up over the tackles. Right? As backers.
Yeah. So your outside guys are like wide nines.
Yeah, but they crashing everything
Yeah.
in. So we're just sitting there, just anything that any rollover, any running back. We literally are just
someone's got a gap available.
Yeah, we're just running and hitting.
Yeah,
like it was like unstoppable. Now we couldn't play it all game because like we play the Colts. They go, but when we needed to, if you were getting a little bit of success against the run, when we put them two dudes, and then we, you got Sean Price and Marcellus Wiley back, and Marcellus played 10, 12 years, and so you got to have depth, and you got to have guys that can play a role. But you just reminded me of that special package. I was like, oh yes, thank you. Yeah, you should have played this against the Raiders when Kevin Gogan when Kevin Gogan hit me in my solar plex. I don't know what it was. It dropped me. I still think I have a little issue here. No, I'm just playing. It dropped me like a sack of potatoes. Anyways, good second segment. We're gonna take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this bad boy. We got Lighthouse coming in with Bill Mitchner and Jason Peters, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Brown's Shoe Fit has a Black Friday deal so good it's available for 3 days. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit from November 28th through November 30th for 20% off everything store-wide. Brown's has all your favorite brands, plus Lincoln's largest selection of Uggs, which make the perfect Christmas gift. And speaking of stocking stuffers, buy 3 Smart Wool socks, get 1 free during the extended Black Friday sale from November 28th through November 30th at Brown's Shoe Fit, 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hey, Lincoln and the surrounding area. Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts is now open at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G and ready to help you improve your general health. If you're experiencing pain, headaches, or any other issues, give Yin and Yang Acupuncture a call today at 402-480-1014 to schedule your appointment. For those struggling with deep tissue pain or just need an experienced massage therapist to melt the stress away, call Rune Wind Healing Arts at 402-601-9721 and schedule your appointment now. Visit Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts today in Lincoln at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Quick segment here before we go over to Bill Misher and Lighthouse. Got a big announcement with what they got going on. I think it's December 16th or 18th, Austin.
In a month.
They do a big shopping spree for kids, and usually $100, but I think we're going to raise the roof up a little bit.
Nice.
That dang thing called inflation.
It is real. It is real.
Yeah, so they'll be on next to talk about that. But as we approach Thursday, I usually say a little bit of the hay's in the barn, but since you got a long travel out there to State College, the hay's in the barn. It's probably the last practice that you hit. It's real mental from here on out. You got to lock in and focus. It's a tremendous opportunity, to beat a helmet sticker team. And that's against Penn State. You can't worry about whether they have a coach or not, whether they are 4-6 and just won their first Big Ten game. They will be coming to try to beat you and extend their season. It's your job to send them home gracefully and make sure they have a great Christmas at home with their friends and family.
You don't think Penn State's academic progress rate is enough to get them in a bowl game at 5-7? If Nebraska lose to Rutgers?
I hadn't even thought about that. Would they accept?
I don't know. Why not?
Well,
why not?
Bowl game.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What do you think you are? North Carolina turning down the invitation to the NIT?
Yeah. And
who do you think you are?
Well, the coach wants to see his players. So
true.
We shall see. Saturday, 6 p.m. prime time at State College. Probably whiteout, right?
They only really do one year.
1 year.
Maybe it's an informal one, but it's not being pushed as a whiteout.
That's all right.
Because the Oregon game was.
Yeah, Nebraska fans wear your red, and we'll take over that stadium too. Jay Foreman, my man, Austin Orman. We will holler at you tomorrow. It's No Shave November at Limitless Male. Let the beard grow and lose weight. If extra weight is holding you back from activities, the men's health experts at Limitless Male can help.
It's no fun being left out because your weight is holding you back. GLP-1s from Limitless Mail will help you drop the weight fast, and you won't be hungry. When you feel good and look good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Mail.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program with a VIP and